Welcome to my podcast, What We Watching, where I get bullied for an hour. Then I go home
and this is going to be an hour.
And then I go home questioning all of my life choices to this point.
Yeah, but Chloe's there, so you know,
Chloe's
you got some
here.
reassurance.
Yeah, but she's laughing as well.
Yeah. We have Amy,
Hi.
who'll bully me. We have Jonathan, who might bully me because he's on vodka holiday.
Kind of an iffy about it.
We have KC, who
Fuck you, Aaron.
will bully me.
That's my man.
And we also have
That's
Can
my
you do
boy.
me a favour?
Chloe,
I need to do
who
it.
won't bully
I need to
me
ask
in public, but will bully me in private.
Oh, please tell us more about that. Like, okay, not outside of, like, you know.
you.
just
Joe,
something
we
you
haven't
do
done it in a
with-
while. On the record.
Yeah, we haven't. Well, next year. Next year
Chloe.
I'll be back next year.
What do you do to Aaron?
Next year it'll be
Tell
back.
us your secrets.
It's a lot of emotional abuse. I can't leave now. I'm stuck here. Anyway.
I mean, you're holding hands, so you kind of put yourself up there. to be honest.
She makes me do it.
She's gripping.
Gripping him,
The nails were dug into my palm.
You love it though, really.
So this is, as it says, what are we watching? I did originally have this plan to do one movie, one TV show, and it just boiled down to we'll just fucking chat shit for a while. I'll say something stupid, I get shouted at, we go home.
Yeah, you
Always.
you often leave your bad
Always a
opinions
fun
to
night.
this show,
Yeah.
so
yeah.
that we can shout you down and
So,
tell you why you're wrong.
I'll point out something that I've watched
Okay.
recently. We did start rewatching the I started rewatching it. She's been watching it for the first time, The Orville.
Oh yeah.
Ah, fantastic.
It's
which
so
she's
yeah.
enjoying.
It's so
Love
it
it.
really is good.
Yeah,
Very
we've also watched, in terms of movies, we've also watched Booksmart, The Age of 17, and Love, Simon.
Oh, what's that about?
That was my.
Love, Simon
I
is
had
like
the
a
category
coming of age,
teenage.
yeah, gay
Yeah.
teenage story. I think they redid it on Netflix called, what was it called again?
Love
Love
Victor.
Victor.
Love, Victor, yeah.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Age of 17 is another coming of age thing with
Yeah.
Haley Steinfeld.
Mm.
I liked it.
She
Yeah.
peaked in Pitch Perfect 3,
Yeah.
didn't she?
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know, she's not as good as Hawkeye. She's good as the new Hawkeye.
Oh yeah.
She's the new
that's
Walker,
right,
And then we have another coming of age thing, Booksmart,
Booksmart.
with who's
He's on a bit of a
Who's
coming
it
of age
again?
buzz lately. He's
Yes.
trying to learn something
Yeah.
about themselves
I
here.
do the different
Bernie-
categories.
Bernie
That's nice,
Fink.
yeah.
What the fuck is her name again?
Beanie Feldstein.
Beanie Feldstein. Who's her brother again?
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill, yeah.
Ah.
And that was the first movie directed by Olivia Wilde. So she started off strong, and then did that other one, which was marred with more controversies
Don't
coming
worry,
out
darlings.
Yeah.
of it. Yeah. You know, the whole getting the lawyer, the subpoenas on stage when she was talking about it.
I
and-
will point out about that. I'm going to defend him on this one.
Oh yeah, no,
He
it's
doesn't-
fun.
He doesn't pick the fucking time
No,
and place
he
when
doesn't.
it's literally. Do you know where she is? She's in LA. Do you know what? We just happen to see here where she's going to be, and they literally serve it there because they know that's where she is.
Yeah.
To blame him for that is the fucking most ridiculous thing I've
I
ever
also,
heard.
she just seems like a bit of a knob anyway.
A little
She
bit,
was
yeah.
very good in House, so that's how I know her. No, is it? Yeah, House. Yeah, she was. I keep mixing up her with Olivia Munn sometimes in my head. We've also we watched The Penguin.
Yeah, you were saying now. Over between cuts.
We Chloe said it earlier yesterday. We finished off episode 3 because we still got to watch episode 4. Probably the best thing Colin Farrell's ever been in.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a show.
It is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
It is so fucking good.
Are you saying that he wasn't good in Ballycus Angel?
I'm not saying.
I was thinking more intermission, to be honest. But,
I'm not really even saying it wasn't good or anything else. This is just.
Or in Bruges.
No, sorry, no. Just like saying, like, I'm going to use TV shows, but it's the best thing that he's ever been in.
Yeah.
He disregarded Ballycus Angel so quickly.
Put some respect on Ballycus Angel's name, lad.
And fun fact, because I'm out of there now, I once rang him about his gas and electricity while he was on set.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, so...
Was he in character?
No, sadly not. That would have been fucking even funnier, to be honest.
How did you get this number? We're literally on a movie right now.
That actually used to happen sometimes. I got Paul McGrath with like fucking 4 weeks in. I was out doing calls out, yeah. Got Paul McGrath. I also got, what's her name again? One from
Oh, the don't make unnecessary journeys. Don't go out on treacherous roads.
Oh, Teresa Mannion.
Yes.
Yeah, I got her too.
Didn't you get D4 one time as well?
Yes. Yeah, that wasn't even me getting D4 because like I got the rest of them. It was Aaron can deal with her. And I don't know who it was. And I was like, oh yes, I can deal with her. There's no problem at all.
That's when you being in troll is actually a good thing for the country. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I wasted about 20 minutes of her time there, so thank you.
Good, that's grand.
You're welcome,
It was
Aaron.
20 minutes where she wasn't being a racist. So,
There you
that
go.
works out.
There you go. But yeah, it's been good. we nearly finished our Family Guy. We're kind of on the edge of that, and then we're going to.
That must be a bit of a slog at times, though. I'd imagine.
We have broken it up with other things we've watched.
We do. Me and Kira did that as well. We have like 4 or 5 series on the go as well. So it does help.
That was another thing we watched. We watched another thing, a new thing on Hulu called English Teacher.
And my one.
And
my one?
Miss America.
Mrs. America.
Mrs. America.
Oh.
About the Equal Rights Act.
No,
isn't
ERA,
it?
yeah.
Equal Rights Act, isn't it?
Amendment, maybe.
Equal Rights
Human
Act.
Rights Act sounds about right.
Is that an amendment to Act?
Act, maybe.
I think it's Act, yeah. About the story of that, how it came to fruition and stuff like that. That is good. It's got a good cast in it too. It's got Rose Byrne. I can never remember her actual name. Crazy Eyes from Orange Is the New Black. And who's the main one?
Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett, yeah. Kate Blanchett, which is good. English Teacher's good. She's a gay teacher in a Texas school in Austin. It's not bad. It's actually kind of funny. It took one or 2 episodes to get into it, but since we've been into it, it's like, no, this is alright.
Yeah.
And we're Hulu, I don't think I'm going to have to wait another fucking 3 years for another series, so we'll probably get another one next year.
That's good. Yeah.
Because it seems to have gone over well enough as what I can see online anyway.
Well, Hulu always has its kind of own little like kind of imagery anyway, so like it's
got its own, and they also don't fuck around with seasons. We've had 3 years, 3 seasons of The Bear. Like, we know we're gonna get another one again next year. They don't fuck around with like timetables. It's like
it's
a popular
shit out.
Yeah, it's a popular show. We'll get from A to fucking B. It'll be grand.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. That's kind of like the main things we've watched. Have we watched anything else? I think I've gone over everything.
Was there something else?
Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
We're caught up on all of that. The second last episode we watched of that had a twist in it that was. I'm not gonna ruin anything.
Careful.
I'm not gonna say anything, but it was literally 3.5 years in the making. Jesus Christ!
Okay, stop. Okay, both of you.
I know. I'm only wanting to call you up here, to be honest.
He has to fucking say this sort of thing so it entices us to watch it.
Yeah.
3.5 build up.
3.5 years build up that even I don't think we seen it coming. We were watching it. It made sense once they mentioned it.
Not the last.
Not the last one. The one before that.
Yeah, the one before that.
Yeah, like it made sense once they mentioned it. But fucking very well done. It's also got Paul Rudd in it that's doing.
How many murders can possibly happen in one?
There's going to be 2 more.
So
because we got 2 more seasons of it. It's also got Paul Rudd in it doing probably one of the worst Irish accents I've ever heard in my entire life, and at the same time, fucking phenomenal. Absolutely fucking brilliant.
I mean, if that's the selling point, I'm sold.
Yeah, there you go. Without getting too much into it, Superman and Lois came back, which has been Jesus. I'm not going to ruin anything.
Even I'm actually kind of getting a bit Chloe. You need to stop.
I'm not going to ruin anything.
He has to say
because I got to get them to watch it.
Yeah.
That's returned really fucking good so far. Fantastic stuff. They're really going all out for the last season.
How many seasons are of Superman and Lois? 5, is it? Okay, it's not too bad.
This is the 5th one, I think, is it?
This is on the 4th.
There's only 4, sorry, I thought this was
this is the 4th.
Oh, well then, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
We'll be able to fly you down fairly quickly, though.
You say that now.
I know. We have so many...
Shut up, it's not that bad, Amy.
No, I'm literally talking about because he has 4 other shows.
Oh,
and
in
also,
that case...
And also
that...
that...
Fuck, do you know what?
And do you know what? Also that...
I've literally done nothing but defend you now on your own fucking show.
I'm only just saying that because you keep shitting on the show.
And also that, I do actually run...
Literally, he just said we've 4 or 5 different shows on the go. Oh, we'll fly through this one. I was like, I don't think you will.
And also that, like, I also do run 2 YouTube channels, so my free time to actually watch stuff is relatively compressed.
You're a busy man.
Yeah.
Busy man.
So.
Agatha Harladon.
Yeah.
Fucking fantastic.
God, this
she couldn't have said that to me about Agatha. Anyone really. Make it a Chris.
No. Have you? She normally gives a curse to someone else to break the curse.
Anyway, Agatha Harladon has been fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
It was kind of one of those ones that I think people were worried about.
Yeah.
Because their last TV outing was
you like those?
I say a load of dog shit.
Secret Wars?
Secret Invasion.
Oh
yeah.
Any good?
Fucking crap.
So,
awful.
Oh.
It just it actually breaks things in the universe. Emilia Clarke is now the most powerful person in that universe by a mile. by a country mile.
Please take the rest of them away from me.
I will.
She's got every power of every Avenger in her body.
It's a bit broken, alright?
It has broken it.
Yeah.
She's going to have to get nerfed. She has to get nerfed, because otherwise, if anything happens on Earth, you just call. I know you can't really do that anyway, but you just call her in and she'll just deal with it in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So it kind of breaks it, but overall it was just it wasn't great. That was the one I was most.
It sounds like a really bad attempt at Rogue almost. Like the way they kind of get that.
Well,
power across.
in the show she was a Skrull.
Yeah,
she was a super Skrull, but I don't think they thought through the whole super Skrull thing.
Yeah.
In universe, makes no sense. So they kind of fucked it there. And they also killed out who's your one from How I Met Your Mother?
The mother.
Kobe Sobels.
That's the one.
She gets killed out of it in episode 2.
Thanks for spoiling it. Fuck's sake, Alan.
And this is the first time I don't say.
Sorry.
The show's been out for a year.
Been out for a long
We do
time.
have an arm. We have a cut off in terms of spoilers. I think once it crosses the 12-month period, I think it's fair.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they killed her off for 2 episodes, and I think everyone was hoping that's going to be a Skrull, and she doesn't change back when she gets killed. So I was like, oh, why?
Yeah.
Why do this?
To bring back Greg Clark.
You took a running jump at that.
See,
Greg.
the thing is,
Clark.
Greg.
It's either Greg or Greg
Clark.
I think it's but the thing is with that is that technically didn't happen in the NCU. Because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I mean? No, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. never gets mentioned. It didn't happen, or did it? No one's really sure.
So didn't that happen in one of the movies, not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
He got killed in the Avengers, but he got brought back to life in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, just
so,
goes to show how checked out of the Avengers I actually... And I had an over. There was too much superhero. It literally burnt me out.
See, that's what kind of...
Well, they're fixing it themselves, to be fair. They're trying to space it back out again, because I think they realised after the Infinity... No, not Infinity War, Endgame, that, like, the new head of Disney just absolutely was like, I want at least 2 shows and 3 movies a year. And it just completely oversaturated everything. Fucked over all their fucking visual effects artists.
Yeah.
Just give them a bad name, and now they're starting to space it back out again. Because all we've had this year is Deadpool and Agatha.
Yeah.
That's it.
But it's always it's the same as anything else, like, and this is what like it's also a policy that a lot of other studios and companies have followed, because I noticed that, like, with CBS, for example, they hammer whatever kind of like intellectual property they had. So like with CBS, they had, okay, let's do a CSI thing, let's do a Star Trek thing, let's do a Criminal Minds thing, and they just flood the whole thing. And then they have Frasier and all this stuff, which I understand because they have Frasier's grand, but like it's the same thing as well. Like, if you want to get it's for your streaming service, for the sake of the streaming service, you want to get like 5 or 6 projects on the go. At least they're different projects, if you know what I mean. Where it's Marvel, you have to be into superheroes to actually, in my view, like I know we've had this conversation before. Batman
Secret Wars
movies,
was so bad.
It's an entry level for me.
Secret Invasion was so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other thing with Secret Invasion is you have to know everything else that's gone on.
Yeah, that's the point.
Sit there and
That's
if you do, you're still a little bit confused.
That's the point I was going to make. Where at least, like, if you say, like, for instance, we tried this new CSI series, and at least like the first episode has Seidel and Grissom in it. I was like, oh, crap, do you know what? That's the
CSI, the actual Las Vegas.
Yeah, the Vegas CSI, yeah. Well, at least that's, if you have watched this original CSI, you have an entry level. It's like, okay, you have a bit of, you can recalibrate that because you have characters to play with.
I'm going to say this, with regards with CSIs, you do not need entry level characters with
CSI
you don't,
shows,
right?
But the concept is there.
The concept is, but here's the thing is, right, you have a load of TV shows which are now just all remakes of old shows.
Yeah. It's nostalgia buzz.
Magnum, PI, MacGyver, Miami Vice.
I throw Star Trek in there too as well, to be honest.
According to my mother, all those 3 shows, fucking great. So I don't know if that's
Knight Rider was done again. Knight Rider was done again.
Was it?
Knight Rider
was done again.
Right?
Yeah.
There was another one that
years
was
ago
done.
now. It was a
there
while
was
ago.
another one that was done again.
Hawaii 5-0.
Hawaii 5-0. There's one that's literally on the fucking tip of my tongue and I can't think what it is. It was on. That's not the one I'm thinking of, but it was done again. Like there was like literally Walker. Everything was redone again.
Yeah, that was the end even there. I thought he was going right back.
Right. They were all. It's gotten to a point. It's like, okay, well, let's have an original idea. And when they do have an original idea, they cancel it after 1 season.
Yeah.
Because oh, okay, it didn't get the viewers that we thought it would get, so we're going to cancel it. It's like, well, you can't get that viewership after one season. You need to build a
Exactly.
fan base.
That's how
It's weird that
version
it
And
works.
then and here's the other fucking catch knock on it is like when they do have large numbers of viewers, they're like,
Yeah.
shit, we have to put money into this now. Cancel it.
Mm.
Netflix.
We don't have the money for this.
Netflix. Yeah, I was going
Right.
to say Netflix there.
Fucking- I don't understand it at all.
Netflix do it. Prime do it as well. Actually, a fair bit with certain things. Prime have done it.
Prime have kept upload going for, I think it's going into its 5th season.
But is it
Because
is
it's
it well
cheap.
is it easier to make?
It's cheap.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that
It
cheap
is.
to fucking make.
It is.
No, it's good. I need to point out. Actually, not a bad show.
But again, compare it
got
to
Robbie
other
Amell in it,
projects.
doesn't it?
You know, like it's different when you have like I'll use video games as an example. Video games can't be made on their own anymore. You need capital. You need people to invest in and say, okay, we think this is going to sell X amount million of copies. So in order to do
Yeah,
that,
crisps
we need you to buy. Was it BNs? Is it?
No, the crisps.
Oh, the
My
crisps,
name is-
Like you
Off me.
need a set amount. You need to have a set amount of money to do so. So in the Netflix era, it's kind of a similar thing where like you have to prove. Okay, we have a certain amount of a certain amount of audience. We have a certain amount of reach. We have a certain amount of marketability. But in order to actually justify the cost of say CGI and all the other special effects you want to do, that you have to subsidize that to a studio, and that
Plus, you
studio
then
has to be
have
paid
to,
off
then
and
you have to
everything
then
else.
take in shit. We have to pay the actors more now. So
Exactly,
yeah.
yes,
But,
yeah,
shit,
and
now we have to
writers
actually-
and everything else.
We have to start marketing this now as well.
But that new show that came out with Jeff Goldblum recently, apparently it was
Chaos.
Chaos. It's supposed
Cancelled.
to be fucking brilliant. They cancelled after one season.
Yes, because
It probably was. It was
It was
unsustainable.
it was literally
Yeah.
was like shit. This is gonna cost us more money
Yeah.
in the
See,
long run than we
it's not the same.
realised.
It's not the same market as like something that was in syndication, where you're able to do. The syndication was great for TV shows because it meant they had to do things on a budget. So it works two ways.
With
And again,
streaming, you no longer have a budget.
You don't have
can
that,
do
exactly.
whatever the fuck you want. with
like
it.
the show we suggested for yourselves this time around was The West Wing, and that's a great example of how to do things on a budget because they have all those sets done, and they haven't touched those sets in years. Because they're all the same thing. It's the Oval Office. It's the press room. It's CJ's room. It's the
It's like with
hotel.
ER.
Yeah, the same with ER. Once you have all the sets built, it's the same as any syndicated show.
Yeah.
NCIS, Star Trek, anything else. They have all the sets built and anything need bespoke for the episode to do on the time and then fucking
also-
dissolve it and
It
go
also
again.
depends on where they're actually shooting as well.
Yeah, well Paramount you have the regular studios. So like everyone
Right.
will have their spot and go from there.
I'll
That's
use
what
the-
they need to bring back. More sets.
Right.
They do a lot of
'Cause
filming on location. It's
The
very annoying.
CW
There's a reason for that though, Aaron.
and this
Oh, I
is
know,
this
yeah,
is
tax
because
breaks.
the
No,
CW,
there actually isn't that at all.
the CW used they film in Canada, so all of their shows were filmed
Yeah.
up in Canada.
Mm.
Prime actually used Canada as their prime
Toronto, I
location
believe, isn't it?
as well.
Toronto,
Yeah,
yeah,
because
yeah,
Toronto
yeah.
gives them the tax
Where
breaks for
suits,
it.
both suits and shit like that gets
Yeah.
filmed there as well.
Toronto- get a tax
Toronto
break.
is one of them, and Vancouver is the other.
Vancouver, that's what I was
Right.
thinking of, yeah.
So-
The Flash was filmed, I think, with Vancouver.
Right, Vancouver was the Flash. Arrow was actually done in Vancouver
Did
as
Aaron-
well.
did,
Supernatural was done in Vancouver.
I
The
was just about
Boys-
to say.
The Boys is done in The Boys is done in Vancouver.
Yeah. I was about to say, did our mutual friend Neil tell you that he
Yeah.
walked on a
Yeah, he walked
Supernatural?
in on the set when
Yeah,
he
yeah.
whipped up there. He showed me the video of them revving baby,
That's what it was, yeah. I wasn't sure if he told
And
you.
it
Obviously he
revved
did,
me.
but yeah.
and it revved me. That was the first thing he told me when I met him.
Yeah, there you
He
go.
actually whipped out his phone and he was like, "I'm going to show you something that's going to."
Because he's done a video way back when
Yeah.
about Supernatural, that's
He
what it was,
literally
yeah.
said, "I'm going to show you a video to make you wet," and I was
Yeah.
what the fuck? I've literally just met you, and then he showed
Yeah.
me a picture. He showed me a video of Jensen revving baby, and I was like, "Oh, I need new
So-
underwear."
Just imagine him going through the photos going,
He
what
didn't even
about
have
this?
to.
Yeah.
He didn't even have to go through his phone. It's as if Jonathan preempted him. Oh, by the way, Amy, she's a supernatural.
Oh, I
madman."
literally gave him that primer.
Yeah,
Like, I
and
literally
he
gave him that
had.
primer.
He made a folder on his phone. Everything was ready to go.
Yeah, but bear in mind, like his partner also watched the Supernatural for a long time as well,
Just want
so.
to point out as well. Thank you very much, Neil. That was the greatest Christmas present I've ever. Birthday present I've ever gotten.
You'll have seen it on videos currently on the channel if you're not
Mhm.
sure. But no, on the point about the whole sets thing, the reason why they don't do such detailed set downs is because people like the viewing habit nowadays. People watch on their phones, so studios and producers have made the decision not to make their sets as detailed.
Because
So
no
they
one's
go
looking
on
at them.
They go on location more often now, mainly because they are just less detailed. So you can go on location and basically do a soft blur of the background and that's it.
Yeah.
Because most people are on their phones now.
Yeah.
So like you can't. So if you're doing a complicated set, like say again, let's use NCIS as an example here because we watched it recently, and they have little Easter eggs from the seasons gone by on their poster boards and on the in the background. That stuff is wasted on 2024 because we don't watch it on a big screen anymore. We watch it on phones, or at least the grand percentage of us do. You know,
Yeah.
so that was the reason for it. But like It's the same as anything else. I think that will it's a cycle. It'll always come back around because then people will, the viewing habits will change and people want to sit down and watch TV shows again and they want the detail and they want the Easter eggs.
People sit down and watch TV shows now, but it's like there's too much stuff.
Which you can be selective.
Yeah, that's the thing is with the amount of streams that you actually can be selective on what you're watching. Like you don't. It's not like it was.
All of us inside here all pay for our streaming services.
But we all have different services. Like you could be on Amazon Prime, I could be on fucking Paramount Plus, I could be on Netflix, and all the same thing.
Right over your head there, that's fine.
I love how me and
I am trying not to get you in fucking trouble.
I pay for
we pay for all of our services.
All of them.
Especially 4OD.
Bob Iger, I love you.
4OD is free.
I don't have the door.
No, 4OD
I know it's
is
free.
actually free.
I know, I'm joking.
I was like, part of me is like thinking, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, do I have to start paying to watch One Born every minute?
No, because they're registered in Ireland, so we can have it for free.
But
we can pay for it if we want. We just don't want the ads. It's like 70.
That's the halfway house because they're registered over here, so we can have access to it. We just have to deal with the ads.
Yeah.
There was something I was going to say, but now it's kind of gone because someone cut me off when I was trying to say it.
Apologies.
What the fuck were we talking about before we got into the streamings? Yeah, you can like pick and choose on things, but there is an also thing with an awful lot for our generation.
Yeah.
So our generation very much is like we're the anxiety riddled generation.
We're the comfort eaters.
Right? We're the yeah, exactly. So we'll watch the same shit over and over
Yep.
again.
Mm-hmm.
So we are constantly because like we're rewatching this. I'm rewatching all this stuff with Chloe. I've rewatched all of Family Guy. I'm the same.
Watching Seinfeld for the fourth time.
That's what I mean. It's like we're the rewatch nation, right? And then the new generation of people that are like kind of would be like they're making TV shows for in a sense. They're the TikTok generation.
So you want fast or quicker?
They literally want everything as fast, quick, and like.
But to be fair, they did try that.
Jesus Christ.
No, I'm not cutting you off in that way. It's just like they did try the whole TV shows in 30-second blocks with Quibi. Fucking failed.
What was that again? Sorry,
Quibi.
That doesn't ring a bell.
Did you not? Didn't know if you heard that?
No.
You can't make up words, Aaron.
Technically, it was made up. So the point of it was that Katzenberg, the producer, the big producer in Hollywood, made a streaming service intended for the likes of Amy, me, who travel to work, yourself, Chloe. So we watch TV shows on the go. They were like 30 to 90 seconds parts, and just as it launched, it was a pandemic or something yet, and killed that in an instant.
Okay.
And they lost $1 billion.
See, this is what always fascinates me about and it's always the same thing. Like everyone always follows trends to try and kind of get on the upper end of everything else. Whereas again, I always look at
probably leave her finished because I think
it's gone now. It's like literally because you cut me off, my anger took over, so the point I was making was gone.
Would you like some?
Sorry.
Don't touch me.
Sorry.
Don't touch. Don't actually touch that leg.
Please don't touch that specific leg because this might actually hurt.
And even for the sake of all of our physical health, I will finish my point and then pass it to Amy for the rest of the show.
Yes. Yeah. Because you have a point to make anyway. You wanted to talk about something else.
Yeah. So in a way, I now lost my fucking train of thought.
My turn.
Peace.
So me and Aaron had a conversation. Because it was only because you had made this point to me, and I actually hadn't said it to you because I'd literally just rewatched that particular movie that we were talking about. And it's only now with generations that it's really coming to point of view, and it's really coming to the surface as to who the true villain of this movie was. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh
yeah, the Gandhi, yeah, fuck him.
Right?
Sorry.
The one time I decide to be nice to him and he literally just takes full advantage of the whole fucking
Sorry.
thing.
Chuck something at him.
Tremendous.
Oh, do you know what? The only thing I have is a glass.
Oh, God.
And honestly, I don't want
That's not even her glass as well. That's one of our glasses.
I was like, and I just don't want to give that kind of.
I'll
shit
replace the
clear
glass
on
if she throws it at me.
No fucking chance you will. That's the limited edition, that is.
Yeah, Coca-Cola.
Is there another glass that we can use?
No. There's no smashing of glass. There you
Ow!
go. Perfect.
Fair enough.
it. Bounced back.
Didn't they? Yeah.
Squish
nose is replaced.
Right? Willy Wonka and the Chocolate.
Yeah.
The panda attack. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The true villain of that is Grandpa Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He had his daughter working. How many jobs?
Yeah.
She's a widow. She's literally feeding five other people, 6 including herself in this. That little bastard kid gets a fucking free chance to go to a chocolate factory and Grandpa Joe's jumping for joy.
Oh yeah.
Right? He also has the coke fingernail.
He does.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
That man has been sniffing the coke,
Yeah.
right? He is Slugworth himself, right? I fucking guarantee this, right? I guarantee this on this sense. As soon as they got to Chocolate Factory, Grandpa Joe was getting those Oompa Loompas and like, this ain't sugar, we're doing no more. I'm gonna bring you
I
to
just
a
need
new
like
empire.
5 of them, okay? Just for a special project. Don't ask. It's just a special project that I have.
Charlie, I'm gonna make sure that you go and get done for fucking human rights violations, alright? Loompa, Doopa, do, come with me. Like, oh,
That's
by the
joking.
way, the fucking bodies of Violet, Augustus Gloop, and the other one,
wash him
Farouk
off,
Assault, Mike TV, oh no, he dead, right? His mother took him, he's gone, right? He's gone, so we need to get rid of those bodies pronto.
Do you think, and this is kind of a room for...
Augustus Gloop was definitely turned into fucking nougat.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
Like,
No doubt in my mind.
fucking Soylent Green, that shit, yeah.
Talk about being full of chocolate.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But like,
German truffles.
German truffles, yeah.
Austrian
But
truffles.
this-
That was actually a good
This
Simpsons
is perhaps
show, right?
talking about for the room, but you know, like how like Willy Wonka is always seen as a Christmas movie and it has nothing to do with Christmas. It just
Yeah.
happens to be on a
I
Christmas.
think that's an Irish thing.
It is
Because
an
of
Irish
RT.
thing.
Yeah.
This is the thing, right?
That's why I
feel,
get that way with fucking the Indiana Jones
I
movies.
feel like that's kind of like a kind of an appropriate kind of means for how misunderstood Willy Wonka is as a movie. Because I think with all the colour and the vibrance and the kind of the whimsical nature of it,
Whimsical nature, sure. Did you ever see that fucking scene on the boat?
that's what I mean. I was literally about to mention
really.
the scene in the
There's
boat.
nothing
I
like
was
that.
literally about to mention that.
That is an English student.
That's an acid trip. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That is a student film that they accidentally cut into the movie. And
Yeah.
Gene Wilder just went, no, leave it in.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so it's like it has such a kind of outer.
Don't resist it.
Aaron,
just leave
Aaron,
it in.
you've already ruined it like 3 times already. Shut the
But like,
fuck up.
but this is what I was gonna say is like, I can't think of another movie that where like people have kind of like seen it at face value and kind of missed the whole point of it in a sense. Where like again, kids die in that fucking movie. Like there's some scary shit in there. Like
Quite
there's no workers'
violently
rights for
as well.
quite violently, and like
Augustus Gloop drowns to death.
and I don't know if you noticed, but the
Joe,
Oompa Loompas don't have a fucking union either. By the
I
way,
just
you know.
want to
Like,
point out as well is that not only does he drown in the chocolate lake, they then jump in a boat on the chocolate lake,
bouncing
blowing
off
up-
his corpse as they go.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Somebody goes
his
up
corpse
the
gets
pipe.
sucked
He
out.
gets sucked up the pipe.
Oh
actually,
god,
yeah.
that traumatized me so much.
Right, so not only does the fat kid get sucked up the pipe, right? That's
Wasn't that
literally
fat?
he's
He was fat. He was fat.
Right?
By 1960 standards, he was fat.
he was fat. He would have
Nowadays-
fed.
nowadays
He would
he's
have
fit.
fed the bucket
Yeah,
family.
he's hench.
Right?
Yeah, he's a big boy, you know what I mean? He's built like... But
Fucking Leatherface is looking at him and going, "That's 3 Christmas dinners, right?"
Exactly,
there.
yeah,
I mean,
100%.
seriously. Like, and then he does think, oh, what's he say? Quickly, he might go to the fudge room. Also, all those deaths were pre-planned.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what that's
he
the
had
thing.
the songs ready to go. Like, those
You know
Oompa
what?
Loompas had been practicing.
He's there with the script going, Chapter 3.
I'm sorry.
Fat bitch.
No, sorry, but like, what do you get for guzzling down sweet, eating enough? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, was he practicing with the Oompa Loompas, being like, okay, these are the kids that won.
Yeah.
I want you to make a song about him when he inevitably drowns in our chocolate lake.
Like what? Yeah.
Didn't
This
they
little
technically-
bitch here,
Yeah.
right, when she goes down the trash chute, this is what I want you to sing for her. And the chewing gum one, I haven't figured out a thing for her yet.
Well, it'll
It'll
yeah.
come to me, alright?
Yeah.
Find out that chewing gum sweet that we're making. Yeah, figure out a song for that one. Blue. Yeah. Dabba-dee-dabba-da. No, it's been done. Right? So half that one.
Well, technically at that point it wasn't done yet.
No, well, you know. So and then the bucket, then the bucket family, and he's like looking at it, he goes, well, what about him, the Slugworth in person? Well, what about this guy? Oh, he's the one I'm gonna pin it all on. I'm gonna give him the chocolate factory at the end of this. He'll have to deal with this. Health and safety.
They did
Fucking-
actually, technically they did point out the fact that the Oompa Loompas in the most recent Wonka movie just come up with the songs on their own.
I don't rate
They're
that.
great workers.
I don't
You know what
find-
mean? They can just do it on the fly.
Sorry, hold on. Hugh Grant, you're taking Hugh Grant's word for this?
Well, I don't think...
Was there a prostitute on the side of the road that also told him to tell this story?
And perhaps a whore of the lemon seeding variety, perhaps.
Like, I'm sorry, okay? But he literally says that he's stalking down fucking Wonka because Wonka owes him a debt, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, do you know what? Yeah, I'll kidnap more of my kind, and we'll come and work here in your chocolate factory. Can we sing songs of like kind of a violent nature when the kids inevitably die in chocolate factory? And then Timothy in Kardashian goes, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But
But again, it goes back to the point. Like I think even the remakes of the movies have kind of misunderstood the whole premise in a sense.
I know.
Right?
I think Tim Burton actually had it on the fucking ball.
But he kind of flips in a sense.
At least
like,
with his one, you see
ugliness
the
is on
kids
surface.
didn't actually die.
Yeah.
His
Oh,
one,
yeah,
the
they
kids
did.
actually leave.
Okay.
My
Yeah.
TV was stretched like taffy.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, that's a little bit
Get over
weird.
that. You can move on from
Right?
that.
Yeah.
You can. If Milhouse can, so can he. Right?
Great example, actually.
And
Yeah.
then you have Violet coming out when she's like, no, not Violet. Veruca coming out covered in trash, and the dad finally grown a set of balls and been like, "Shut the fuck up, you little cunt. We've ruined you. You don't get a bath when you go home. You have to live in your own filth." And then Violet, who's just like
Slightly
in the
abusive.
juice room, who's
Yeah.
like, she is a little bit blue in the face. That's grand.
Mm.
She's going to be a fucking phenomenal gymnast by the end of this.
Mm.
She was doing cartwheels and shit all over there because she had like literally was so bloody bendy, and even the ma, you could see it. She might have looked horrified, but in the back of her hand, she's like, "We're gonna make a fucking buck off this. She's gonna be my meal ticket
Yeah.
on that gym horse." Like, they all got out of it great,
Yeah.
and Willy Wonka gets to make up with his dad at the end, who
Mm.
happened
Oh,
to be
yeah.
Christopher Lee,
Yeah.
which is
Which is
just-
everyone expected
yeah,
anyway. so
disturbing in its own right.
Yeah.
But like, at least with that one, right, none of these kids are dead. They're gonna make it out of this alive. Everything's fine. With Gene Wilder, I wouldn't be surprised if he fucking left the chocolate factory with the ears of those children on a necklace.
So this is the part I was curious about, because like there's a family tradition in ours, like an uncle who's kind of passed now. Every time we went to
Oompa
he was quite small actually.
An Uncle Lunka.
Uncle Lunka. Where the Uncle Lunkas? Tell him I hate them. Futurama reference there. But the Willy Wonka was always on in the fucking house Christmas when we went down to visit them, and so like to this day now, after kind of deconstructing that a little bit, I'm trying to think now. It was like, that's his favorite movie. He watches that every Christmas. I'm thinking, like, why is it your favorite? You know, kind of way where like again, it's that kind of thing where like, are you actually drilling down into like how fucking grim and dark the actual story, the original Odell story is? Or are you actually just kind of seeing at face value and like the fucking whimsical nature of it? You know what I mean?
It's overall just a very good movie, though.
It's a great movie, but it's
phenomenal
again,
movie.
it's one of those ones where like I think a lot of people just see it at the top level and they don't actually think about it any further. They just see the goofy kind of like, the goofiness of it and just keep it at that. Whereas they actually don't actually think about the whole.
No one thinks about it. Trust me, they don't.
No.
And this is the thing I know they don't think about it, because there's a horror podcast that I listen to. It's called Alone in the Dark,
Yeah,
and the
Great TV show.
great video game.
the two guys that do it, they one Halloween they put out a poll on their Instagram. It's like, what horror movies are you watching? Like, what should I put on my watch list? And I sent in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
And he literally was like, on his live stream, like, whoa, okay, Nightmare on the Web, love your username, first off. Why is this one? And I basically, like, just typed in a whole message and explained to him. He's like, I'm never going to look at that movie. He goes, oh my god, my kids love this movie.
This is what I'm saying. It's like, how are you not seeing this already?
It's like,
it's
as soon
there.
as...
It's right in
See, the
front
thing
of
is, as soon as it's been pointed out to you,
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
you're like, oh my
The
god.
perfect example of rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah, as soon as
Yeah.
that shit's... Because he's like, as soon as it was pointed out, do you know what's really funny as well? This December, he literally shot me out a private DM, been like, I have Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory on my watch list after you recommended it. Never been able to look at it the same way, so we have it on our Halloween watch list.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great.
I was like,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
savage.
Fair play, lads. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they're and it's actually a really, really good podcast as well. The two of them are teachers, and it is hilarious because you know for a fact that they're just like absolute horror nerds.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And this is their outlet. They can't say it in the school. Yeah.
Oh, it's so
school
good.
environment.
They're
Yeah.
really good lads.
Okay.
And they also love Hocus Pocus. One of them actually
Very
went,
appropriate.
one of them brought his family. He's like, yeah, no, I convinced the wife to go on like a trip to Salem. And he goes, oh, cool. And he goes,
wow.
yeah, she doesn't know, but I'm bringing them to all the locations for Hocus Pocus. I was like, I fucking love this dude. He's so
Fantastic.
class. But yeah, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, I did, after me and you had that conversation, I rewatched it and I was like, this is just like a kid snuff movie.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Fucking,
Oh, I love it though.
it's a
Oh, I
great
love
movie.
it as well.
But, like,
I
think
love
about
it
it
as
for
well.
more than 2
Also,
seconds.
my favourite thing in this movie that is made it into the movie that really shouldn't have, at the start when he's singing the Candyman, the candy shop owner, when he lifts that tray, he smacks a kid in the face
Yeah,
so fucking hard that you can see already that should have been the moment we went, oh, kids are going to die in this.
Yeah, that was a warning.
I was like, literally, it's like, who can make the sun rise?
And
Not
that scene
fucking
overall,
you.
actually, that scene overall is just fucking creepy. He's literally throwing away money. right? Let's get away from that. He's just throwing fucking candy
He's
all over
literally
the place.
hornswoggling the Gypsy Rose with that bottle. He's just like, he may as well just be like,
That is
yes,
a
children,
deep cut
eat-
reference for those
yes,
who aren't in the room.
Yes, children, eat my raindrop, like my rainbow drops. Like, he's just
And also,
into it.
definitely a paedophile.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
I'm sorry, son. He's like, when he says to Charlie, would you like a slug, whatever they are, or a Wonka scrumdiddlyumptious? I'm just like, sir, you get away from that.
I'm 12.
So
Sir.
you need to be on a list.
Sir,
Yeah.
you stepped the fuck away
Sir, your
from that
anklet is
child.
buzzing.
Sir, you stepped away from that fucker child with your Wonka scrumdiddlyumptious. Give him a fucking dairy milk and get him out of your way.
Just give me dairy milk and don't look at him again.
I'm gonna tell my grandpa Joe. Oh yes, the coke fiend.
No wonder he can't fucking stand up. His legs are probably shaking from all the fucking cocaine.
That's the only reason why he could stand up when he got the golden ticket. He realised money for my drugs.
Yeah.
I've been living on scraps, Charlie. Finally, I get to have the good shit. I heard there's a new fella down in Colombia called Pablo. Oh, he's getting me the good stuff.
Pablo Wonka is his cousin, is it?
Pablo Wonkabar.
Pablo Wonkabar. Well, that's the title for the video. Right.
Did everyone? Did you watch the Vince McMahon thing?
I was about to mention this
I
for
watched
the room.
it.
Yeah, we've all watched it, have we?
Have we all watched it?
Yeah.
I learned
What
absolutely
did you think
nothing
of it?
new.
I wasn't really
The only
for it.
thing-
It was for people like her.
Yeah, I will actually say the only thing that I did learn new on this one is Vince McMahon hugs wrestlers more than he does his own son.
Yeah. That was actually my biggest takeaway. of the
That
whole
was
thing.
actually I think that was actually the saddest thing that I actually saw was wow, Vince McMahon would
Doesn't
rather
that like shit?
hug, would actually
The-
rather hug strangers to him that like he's like a dad to me, he's like a dad to me. Meanwhile Shane is literally David
Jumping
Tennant,
off, jumping
David
off,
Who out in the fucking rain looking in.
So I suppose to establish as well, like, because I know like our kind of subscriber base would be kind of like the majority wrestling fans, but some might not be, because again, depending on kind of content. So like, obviously, a lot of us are aware of the McMahon stories anyway. Because obviously, probably
Chloe's more or less would blind to a lot of that shit.
What I found fascinating,
to more of the deeper stuff inside it.
yeah. What I found fascinating personally.
Did you know about the Ring Boy scandal?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Ring Boy Sound is a deep cut. Like that one is
No.
is a literal swept on the rug
that's
thing
fine.
because like
Like
that.
she's fully believing that Pat Patterson
Oh,
was wrong. I
I see. Here's the worst thing is, and I hate to say it, I'm on the fence on it.
Yeah, you see,
'Cause,
you
I'm
don't
just
want
like-
to go down the road of like.
It's
you
not.
know,
It's not
yeah.
even
I
that.
think
It's
he just
just
got
like
caught up in the gay panic of the 80s.
see part of it is like maybe they did kind of jump on him because he was gay,
Yeah.
and then the other part of me is like maybe that actually saved him.
You see, it's one of those things where I
Yeah.
think both situations could be true. Where he probably wasn't involved in that scandal, but you also like agree with what Tony Atlas says. Where like, oh, he definitely grabbed me by the balls a few times.
See,
I was like,
it's
that,
one of those things.
both
like,
things can be true.
See, here's the thing
you
is,
know?
I fully believe that. Oh yeah, Jesus, my foot just went right into your handbag there. I fully believe that he
How does that make you
probably
feel?
did, like, and not in a way of like. I want to say in a test the waters type situation.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Pat Patterson did fondle a wrestler
Attempt.
or two,
Yeah.
an attempt to see, are you into this, are you not into this, because of someone who was in that kind of timeline, no one was going to come out and say, I'm gay, sort of thing. And it was kind of a way of trying to weed out the thing. But then again, another part of me is, considering how, okay, I know Bruce Pritchard's not the fucking best barometer to use on this, well, how, like, he didn't venomously deny shit against Vince, but he venomously denied the stuff against Pat Patterson.
With it was afterwards, and he's your favourite wrestling personality. Jim Cornette was the exact same.
Oh. I was
where-
like,
Was
I
he
was
a
waiting.
punk?
I was literally waiting for you to bring up Punk.
He was again. He didn't deny anything against Vince. His line of thing is that I never saw anything, but at the same time, I fully believe all the shit that happened. It makes sense, but he never actively seen anything go on inside the company.
Yeah. See, the difference between
This-
believing and actually witnessing
See,
it
this
as
is
well.
Yeah.
this is another thing as
But
well.
he did just before you go on to your point. He was like, it's just like Pat Patterson did not do this. There's no fucking way you can tell me that Pat Patterson did it. Does he believe the whole grabbing the wrestlers thing? Yeah, and that went down a fucking road in that podcast about that. But fingers going up.
But the other thing is, like, see, like that's not just like down to Pat Patterson either. Like, other wrestlers have been like seen to fucking like
it's
to
like
hate
what
wrestlers and
that's the thing is like it's one of those things. It's like
it's a cultural thing.
It's a very male locker room hazing type situation,
Yeah.
right? And this is going to be kind of like a kind of an American thing, because like when we hear about stuff like particular things, for example, American fraternities,
Yes.
college fraternities, and it's like, they stripped them naked and they left them on the lawns and stuff like that. And it's like, to us, that's complete like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But like to Americans, it's like, oh, I remember Hell Week. Yeah, that was funny.
Unless you're a Fine Gael councillor,
right? But like, but the thing is though.
How many days do we take out here? Fucking political.
Wow.
When I couldn't put it, I'm just pointing out he's a Fine Gael councillor. He likes Twixes up at lads' arses. Go on.
Now, is it regular Twix or one of those salted caramel Twixes? So that kind of changes the situation. Yeah. Sorry, Amy, continue.
Go on, Amy. Yeah. Sorry.
Are you going to shut the fuck up
I am,
so I can
continue.
actually get a point across? Or are you literally going to be blokes about the whole fucking thing?
No.
And continuously talk over the woman in the room. Because you have done it now every fucking time.
Alright, sorry.
And this is exactly the point that I'm literally trying to make. It's a male-dominated type thing. And they're constantly... It's like they have that air of... What's the word? Air of... Entitlement about them. Oh, we can get away with doing this. And that's exactly what it is. But like with Vince, it's not a sense of... He very much did it. Okay, this is the role I play on TV.
Yeah.
I'm going to test the waters on doing this in my real life. And his massive defense in this is, it's a character. They just see me as a character. They're interpreting it as what my character does. And that actually worked for how many years? Like, he got away with it for so long in that sense. And it is the same, because a lot of people were like, when the female referee came out with her stuff, and everyone jumped on him, it's like, you're literally, it's like, you're just trying to take a man down because of the type of character he plays on TV. And that defense works so well, which is why I fully believe he assumed that that's why he was getting away with everything, and he would always continuously get away with everything.
I will say, I didn't believe that story for a while.
The female referee
one. Just because you said Vince was going to offer $1 million contract. I was like, I would say Hogan was the only one on 7 figures in that company at that point.
I guarantee every woman that worked in that company was on 6 to 7 figures to keep them quiet.
Now, later on, yes, we say the 90s and the early 2000s, absolutely.
He was currently going through
but
how many lawsuits
$1 million
already? Did he really want a sexual assault lawsuit as well when he he already had one from a woman?
Now I fully believe it. Believe it.
Oh, he definitely
but for a
did.
while it was just like, he wasn't giving her $1 million a year to be a fucking referee.
He was giving
now
her,
he
was giving her $1 million to keep quiet.
Yeah,
quiet. Yeah, exactly.
He wasn't giving it. That wasn't for a referee. That was literally, you shut the fuck up about what I've stuck inside you.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
So it's funny because like when I came back, I was off for a while and came back into the job, and then I had people talking to me about watching the McMahon documentary as well, not being wrestling fans, but they mentioned to me anyway, knowing, obviously I'm a fan of it, and they couldn't get their head around some of the stories they were talking about, and then trying to figure out the kind of nuts and bones of it.
Bamboozled them.
Yeah, and like it was fascinating.
Like,
well, everything sounded like shocking and unbelievable, unreal. And again, I was saying to them, it was like, well, you see, the documentary had kind of picked their battles a little bit because McMahon was involved in the production for a time. So like I said to him, like from like say the 5th and 6th episode is where he kind of like is pushed out of the production in a sense because of all the allegations breaking, and I think when they kind of refocused that, because they like the biggest thing that she had an issue was with the Owen Hart situation, and she couldn't get her head around like, why are they still performing, why are they still wrestling while this the person's clearly died in the ring. I was like, I genuinely can't explain why. It just is. And using that phrase, it just is kind of like it's a cop out in wrestling, but it's also how it is in wrestling. And it's very frustrating.
It is one of those things as well. It's because it's very much, it's the Vince mentality, and he goes, well, if it was me, I'd want them to continue on. Yeah. So I just assume that everybody is going to be.
And therefore everything has to be molded into the shape.
It's not even a case of, well, if I want you to wrestle, it's like, this is what I'm doing. So you are going to do it as well, or you can get the fuck out.
Yeah.
The fact that Brett stayed on,
Mm.
like actually went back though as well, is
Brett
another
was the
kind
only
of...
one in that whole thing, by the way, that was actually like completely straight. He wasn't trying to fuck around with people. He was the only like.
Do you know?
I could listen to the 6 episodes just him talking about.
I'd actually throw Tony Atlas in that, to be honest, because
Tony Atlas
he
as well,
doesn't
yeah.
have a horse in that race. Because again, like with Tony Atlas, he doesn't have any level of loyalty to anybody in a sense. So like he just point blank spoke as candidly as he could.
Tony Atlas stopped giving a shit about anyone in wrestling after Bruiser Brody was murdered.
Yeah.
Right, and the reason why I say that is because he was fully on like, I know what happened. I know who killed him. This is how to contact me when this court case comes up, and they just never bothered.
They never did, yeah.
They never got back to him, and after that man was like, "Fuck this business.
Yeah.
I will do it for my money, but I am not going to fucking bow down to anybody, anytime, anywhere, ever again."
Mm.
And he stuck to that, and that's why you never see him in WWE. That's why he's never really coming back as a legend,
Well,
because they know he doesn't toe the line.
Yeah.
He did come. He was back there for a bit, alright.
He was in
Mark
ECW
Henry?
for a while with your man Abraham Washington.
And Mark Henry.
And Mark Henry, yeah. So they had him for a bit there, but it was only for as literally to laugh, and that's it.
Like there is one person, and it was only afterwards that I fucking remember that he wasn't in it. I was kind of glad he wasn't either. Vince Russo didn't get any part in it, and I feel like when it comes to
Vince Russo been in that, he literally would have turned that.
It made it all about him.
He would have made it.
Yeah.
About
But you know what? You could have ended the. He would have because Nightmare Blunt rotation. There was an episode of Paris Morgan last night that had him, Phil Mushnick, Jonathan Coachman, and what was the last one?
Somebody else.
It was a woman, and I can't remember her name.
Shocking, you can't remember the woman.
Oh, I don't think she was a wrestler.
Was it Josephine Reisman by any chance? Because she's been doing the rounds a good bit in terms of because she published a book very close to the documentary.
Maybe I have never seen it before, and she may have been a diva, but she could have had a lot of plastic surgery.
It wasn't her then. No.
But anyway, they basically had her on, and the ad was on, and I was like, oh, thank fuck he wasn't involved in that Vince thing, because he says bro so many times. And then I went on a big fucking rant.
Sorry, I will actually say that I think fucking Piers Morgan actually was like, will you stop calling me bro?
Yeah.
I think Phil Mushnick did it.
Phil Mushnick.
He said stop calling me bro.
Yeah, he's like, will you stop calling me bro? It's like, that man is like, even I'm like, I know I
fuck
say
Vince
like,
Russo.
I know I like is like my second word in every sentence.
Yeah, that's
it's just it is like that's how I am. But with Vince Russo and the word bro, it's like
to another
so
level.
Fucking nasally annoying New York. Is it New York or is it Long Island?
New York. Yeah, he's I can't actually remember, to be honest.
Anyway, who gives a fuck? No one cares.
On the McMahon thing, by the way, about the character, because again, this came up in the conversation when we were talking about the series, is that, like, I was even trying to say, even for wrestling fans, and again, this is the whole kind of, I feel like, the art of wrestling, is like, how do you, like, you can't necessarily separate the real from the fiction. That's the whole art of wrestling, is that where does the fiction begin and the non-fiction start? You know, and again with stuff like that has deliberately blurred the lines, like the Montreal Screwjob, let's say, which again I'm glad the series had made an episode about that, because I think that kind of contextualized a lot. That
was a very good episode to frame it from the first Screwjob to the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah, but I think that was also a good way of contextualizing the way McMahon behaves, if you know what I mean. Where like Vince McMahon, and this has always been a strategy. And again, the reason I mentioned Josephine Reisman, because she has a novel out. And she basically correlates Vince McMahon's antics and shenanigans to American politics now. And I was even saying this actually in work during the week, is that when you're a wrestling fan, all the shit that's happening now in American politics, if you put that through your lens and say, okay, as a wrestling fan, I've been trained to recognise the babyface that's going to try and win the day, and the heel who's going to be dastardly and try and do as much as they can to secure the win. You put that through your lens, and depending on your political sway...
I'm just going to get a taxi home.
Well, yeah.
I actually just can't be arsed now to try and fucking make the bus.
That's... Okay.
It was Shirley Arlos. Was the name. I
don't... That doesn't ring a bell now myself.
Nor when you see her.
Yeah. But I was saying, like, so, like, if you like put wrestling logic onto like the American politics, you'll either, depending on your...
Charlie Crusoe. Sorry.
Oh, Trey Crusoe. Oh, yes, she's gone all fucking right wing now. All of a
yes,
sudden.
she has. Yeah, did she get fired for?
No, she left. Her contract went out, and she just joined Fox.
Yeah,
Fox
and
that's
Friends.
what
it was. Yeah.
So yeah, but again, it's the same thing. Where like, but again, this is the point I was going to make, and it's actually I'm glad you threw in Charlie Caruso there because she's an example of what I'm talking about. With the wrestling lens, depending on your political affiliation, you either see one party as the good guys and the other guy as the heels. And no matter what they do, they're the heels. They are like, boo this guy, boo, I hate them, I hate what they do. And again, it adds that to divisiveness in politics. And Joseph Reisman has a book out that basically said that Vince McMahon has inherently, or rather indirectly inspired American politics because Donald Trump is involved. Donald Trump is a wrestling fan. That's why he's promoted wrestling shows in the past. That's why he's done all these things. But as a child, Donald Trump, with his estranged father, went to the WWF shows in New York, in Connecticut, with Vince McMahon Sr. So Vince McMahon and Donald Trump have been intrinsically linked this entire time. And Vince McMahon is a indirect kind of advisor to Donald Trump and all that. But a lot of it is on how Trump like basically performs and how his persona is and all these different things. So he's doing character work. He's essentially playing a persona, a gimmick. And the thing is, everyone, if you then recalibrate that then to everyone on the right wing, again, we're seeing this because we're all like left-leaning kind of politics, so we're seeing it from this lens. You see the likes of Nikki, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, great heel. She just says stupid shit all the time. Like, what the fuck is she on about?
They're controlling the weather, Jonathan.
They're controlling the weather, exactly. So again, that's another one. Look at fucking Glenn Jacobs and the way he's like nuked his reputation and
fucking.
And look what he's done. But the same thing, look at all the other people. Like you mentioned Charlie Caruso there. She seemed fucking lovely. And it's like you'd love to have a fucking pint with her and she had the banter with her, no problem. But instead, she comes across, she's gone all anti-woke and going like, well, women. It's like, okay, grand, but like, oh, anti-trans. Oh, there we go. That's it, we found it. We found it, we found the hole. That's it. We fucking stuck oil here.
Did she go through NXT?
No, she was an announcer.
She was always an announcer.
Yeah.
She always an announcer.
She was a background interviewer.
But look at all the other wrestling
She was a
personalities.
background interviewer.
Look at all the wrestling personalities that's gone into the right
we
wing.
don't have on Future Wrestling anymore.
No.
Thank God.
Thank fuck for that.
Fucking hate that prick.
In fairness, that guy in particular is definitely gone right wing. But I'm just ready to accept it. He's Jordan Peterson. Let's be honest, the same voice.
Oh my God, we hired him. We had him on the fucking books for so long.
Yeah, and we got rid of him. But the thing
Selena's like, that's the first one to go.
But look, even like fucking Brodus Clay is a Fox pundit. How fucking it's stupid. But listen, it's to us, it's fucking idiocy. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. But we're coming from an angle of fucking centre left European politics. In America, oh, that's that guy off the TV. He must know what he's talking about. No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He fucking barely take a fucking bump. Of course he doesn't know geopolitics, you fucking idiots.
Somebody call my mama.
Yeah.
Somebody call my mama.
The fucking the Funkasaurus is gonna know what to do with the fucking Israel-Palestine conflict. Fuck off, Fox. But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't compute with us. But we're not.
Fucking set him off, Jesus Christ.
My favourite thing is I literally was expecting him to say fuck off.
But like, it doesn't make sense to us. It doesn't compute.
Yeah, I'm like, I kind of want to go Palpatine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, more.
Let the hate flow through you.
So Josephine's book is about literally how Donald Trump has used wrestling logic to get himself elected, and then everyone in that far right side.
Famer, okay?
Yeah, but you have to say it's worked.
Oh yeah.
It got him to the presidency. It's got him to a second run when he's clearly not fucking well to do it. And by the time this comes out, he might be fucking president again, which is the end of the fucking world.
Stage.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
So that's what I'm saying.
I think there was an incontinence toll on his most recent appearance on Fox.
Yeah, it was. I know.
Oh,
they
put down the puppy training pads when he walked in.
So like that's the thing. So that sort of stuff, like it's so what as wrestling fans we're trained to know how this is going to go. Like it feels predetermined, and then that is the kind of blurred line again. What's actually real and what's bullshit. And again, the whole cycle of the fake news thing, it's wrestling logic. In the end of the day.
So in prison, do you think Diddy R. Kelly and Vince McMahon will like start their own little factions?
I think they're the new corporation. They
are. Or do you think Vince's genuine racism will just like find him just be like?
No, I think he's fine with them because they're
throw
rich.
them to the dogs.
Because they're rich. So
I don't know.
It's hard to say. Vince does like money. In fairness.
How much money do we think they're still going to have after they're in prison?
R.
Kelly's no longer getting royalties anymore. He's losing it. Most of his money went off to.
He might be hoping for a presidential pardon.
Yeah, fucking hell. Like at this point, I'm just waiting for the P. Diddy case when Tupac comes out with fucking witness protection.
Yeah.
Points the finger and then Biggie strolls in with him.
What was everyone's kind of takeaways from the McMahon?
I was surprised at the fact that they brought They got Linda. She never does interviews.
But again,
To
that's
be
because
fair,
Vince was involved for the
her
first bit.
livelihood is fucking at stake.
Yeah. I think my biggest takeaway is the same as Amy's, in that, like, Vince McMahon is a horrible father. But the reason is because his father was also horrible.
Do you know what? No.
You know?
I won't ever excuse someone for that, right? Because if you,
I agree with you.
right? Because if you are able to sit down in an interview and literally tell an interviewer how bad your father was,
Yeah.
and then also say to that same interviewer that you never wanted your kids to feel that way, and then your own son is coming in and like, oh yeah, no, he did the same thing. It's like, you cannot lie.
Yeah.
When your fucking children themselves are going to be in this documentary, who are Jimmy Hart was the best one at this, because he said the line that literally just wrapped up the whole thing for you. Oh, the stories I could tell. Why didn't you tell them? I don't know what he wants out. Jimmy Hart says that on camera, and it's in it. But I don't know what they want out there. I don't know what they want to keep hidden.
Yeah.
Which is a massive indication. Is like, okay, you aren't actually able. You're not talking freely here. You are literally still underneath this man's thumb.
Yeah.
Because
It's the
you
fear
know
of it,
for
yeah.
a fact that there's stuff that you want to talk about here, and you're not going to do it because you know that this is going to come back to bite me in the ass if I say anything. Not in the sense of, oh, I'm going to incriminate myself. No, I'm going to lose my contract. I'm going to lose my income. And you don't want to talk about it. And they left that in it, and that was one of the only times that Jimmy Hart even fucking speaks in that documentary. And they never go back to him again because he knew himself, I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
And then you have Shane McMahon, who's like, oh, I tell my kids every day, I love yous.
Yeah.
I'm proud of yous. He is the epitome. Is like, this is what my father didn't do for me, so I'm going to do it for my kids.
Yeah.
That's all Vince had to do.
Yeah.
My father didn't do this for me. I never want my kids to feel that way. I'm going to completely ignore them, except for the girl. Because she listened to me, because she just fell in ranks and just followed me blindly.
It was the
And
hero worship he had.
I'm sorry to say that about Stephanie, because she doesn't seem all that bad.
No.
But he literally painted her out because she was the good one, Shane was the problem, and I decided I washed my hands of that problem.
Yeah.
When he told me we should buy UFC, I told him to, with what money? Who was it?
Paul Heyman?
No, was it Paul Heyman?
With the knife.
Yeah.
So
That was
Paul
a fucking
When
insane
Paul
story.
Heyman tells
Yeah.
that story, that Vince said it to Shane. You stabbed me in the heart, and he goes, because if you do it, then it's yours. You can do that business, and if you don't, you're just a fucking coward.
Because that's what I did to my
Because that's
dad.
what I did to my dad. And Shane is just like, thank you for dinner. I will see myself out. And that was it. That's why Shane left.
Yeah.
Shane left because he knew there's no point in trying to even get along with this person because he doesn't respect me.
Yeah.
He's never going to respect me. No matter what I did for him, he's never going to listen to me or take my word. Stephanie could tell him.
And Shane
you should
did
buy
everything did by his love. Like, the reason why he even learned to
Shane-
wrestle, jumping off fucking tall things,
Oh,
everything did
because
by
he
his
literally
love.
just to get a pat on
Everything.
just to get a fucking pat on the back that literally a bloke who shot himself up with steroids did, and he was like, my boy,
But like,
my boy.
even in the documentary, you can tell the Undertaker is more of a son to Vince McMahon
Yeah.
than Shane is.
Yeah.
And that's unreal. And you even see it in like, all the wrestlers in that inner circle, the likes of like the Undertaker, Austin to a certain degree, and you can also see it now in the next generation, the Cody and stuff like that. They don't have it. They don't have that Pavlovian response to Vince, where like
They'll have it with Triple H though.
they will, and that's
Cody
the thing.
won't.
I think that
Seth will.
I think Seth will.
Cody
I think the,
Seth, KO.
I think the kids coming through now, the ones that are getting the push off Triple H, like the likes of like I'd say that the closest proximity would be someone like Priest, for example,
I
because
will-
Priest is someone that Triple H has backed 100%.
I will actually say this though as well. I think though with the comment, if this was a documentary about Triple H, right, and they had the Triple H boys in it,
Yeah.
I'd say more of their kind of praises on Triple H will never be about, oh, he pushed me to do this, right? He did this, and it's like, oh no, because of him, I was able to fucking actually see my kids growing up.
Yeah.
Oh, because of Triple H, I was able to actually rehab. I was able to get the help that
It'll
I
be a
needed.
different story.
I was able to actually like fix these things. And goes, oh, I have so like that's the type of way I view that they will view kind of Triple H in a sense of like, because of him I was able to have a family again.
That's kind of to bring up our other favourite wrestling personality. Kind of the whole point of why CM Punk went back. Because his whole point was that he wanted to change, that he wanted the company to change for the better in the inside out. I think the first thing he said when he came back is that they gave him an app so he could book time off when needed.
Yeah.
It's just like, that alone is
Like,
one of the main reasons why he's
meant
having to
it,
be back.
but
The
it's-
company has changed.
Do you think
At
it
least
is?
it's the process changing.
Yeah.
It is though a funny thing as well, is because when you actually realise is when I'm kind of in and out of wrestling now, and when I see such and such isn't on the show, where before they would have constantly, and it's like there actually is superstars missing
Yeah.
weeks, like not weeks at a time, but you
Months
can see
even, yeah.
they're gone, and then they come back and there's no fanfare. I was like, they weren't off, and oh shit, they literally just had time off.
Yeah, but even then, that is.
And it like this. I'm gonna use Seth because Seth is always my boy. As my example on this though as well, right? So that stupid idiot, he constantly worked.
Yeah.
His body to
His
WrestleMania.
knees
The year
gone.
2 Mania
Right?
40, yeah.
Right? WrestleMania is the best thing about this. It was like literally they kept that fucking Shield music going on because they were watching him from the. I guarantee you, Triple H is like, I shouldn't have done this.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he is limping. He can't even get into that ring. By the time he does get into the ring, it's like, okay, Grant, hit him with the chair, and it's literally get him out of that fucking ring right now. And Seth just lay there as if, do you know what, this is the respite that I really need.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stay here. I'm not going to even attempt to roll out in this ring because if I land badly, I'm fucked. Right? And that probably would have happened. Let's call it spade a spade. Had he rolled out of that ring, he would have bammed his knee up worse, right? So he's staying there, and then even when, at the end of that, when Cody's in the ring and everyone is rushing into the ring to get Cody, it's literally Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are like looking around the ring, realise, where the fuck is, oh my god, he's literally just sitting at the commentator's desk, and he sat there, happy, crying, like whatever it was, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and one of the Usos, I don't know which one.
Jimmy.
Yeet.
Jay.
Yeet.
I do that. I do
Which
every
is
time.
Peter.
Jay.
Right? They literally were like, okay, they lifted him up, helped him into the ring,
Yeah.
and helped him back out of the ring, and helped him backstage. I guarantee when he got backstage, Triple H was like, go to Birmingham, get that sorted, rehab, do not come back.
It's Triple H has introduced a concept, and shockingly, it hasn't been in wrestling with exception to The Undertaker, and its absence makes it hardcore yonder. If someone's off screen for X amount of time, you start going, Jesus, I wonder how The Undertaker's doing. And then suddenly, bong, oh, there he is. Grand, his hip has been fixed, you know. So now he's doing that with like 4 or 5 different stars. Like, you were mentioning CM Punk there. He doesn't need to come back until the Rumble. He's not needed until the Rumble if he doesn't want it.
Yeah.
If he's not working Gunther or Survivor Series, he doesn't need to come back. You know, same way with Rollins. He doesn't have to work unless he needs to. He's a big enough star as it is. Let the guys on Raw build their reps up, get their star quality going, let them have their matches on regular TV. Because again, these guys are already established. Becky Lynch the same way. She can come in whenever she's ready to go. If we have a rivalry for her, let's do it rather than having her stifled in, say, a tag division or in a feud that doesn't make fucking sense.
That's
You know?
the thing as
year
well,
before,
that's the thing as well, though, because when Rhea got injured and they put the belt back on Becky and people got really pissed. It was like, oh, fucking Becky's always gone. Oh, Becky always has belts. And goes, no, that was a very quick decision of like, shit, okay, put it back on Becky until we can figure out which one of these girls is going to get it, because Becky still has that fan base sort of thing. Like Becky can carry this until whatever it kind of needs to be, and then who took the belt?
Liv off took it over,
right?
yeah.
Which, by the way, made more sense than anyone else to take the belt.
Right.
There was a storyline reason for it.
Right,
Yeah.
that's the thing is like there's a reason to have this, but they can't just give the belt to fucking Liv.
Yeah.
There has to be. It is as like
Proxy.
right. Yeah. So it's like we need. It's like because it won't make sense if for this to happen, sort of thing. It's like all right, put it back on Becky, then we can do the Liv thing, and then we can start building up Liv and Rhea, and that will work. And now Becky, off you pop.
Yeah.
Sorry that we actually made you still come back in while you were still severely ill. Thank you for this. Go and take your time off that you now well and truly
Piss off to
deserve.
the Rumble,
Like
Yeah,
you take your time off, recover, enjoy. Because like don't forget,
Be a
two of
mother
them-
as well. Like,
But see, bearing in mind, so her and Seth have the tour bus.
yeah.
So they have the tour bus. They have the child on the tour bus with them. I guarantee you, as soon as they were finished with WrestleMania, the last thing on their mind was fucking wrestling.
Absolutely, yeah.
It was shit. We need to fucking find our kindergarten.
And I think that's the biggest, in a way, that's the biggest learning of the McMahon documentary, is that you see the people who've taken wrestling way too seriously. Like we mentioned Taker there, he was a serious protector of kayfabe until only recently.
Like you take if you turn wrestling into your entire life, into your entire personality, and it is literally everything that you live, breathe, and eat, sleep, breathe, whatever it is. It's like you are literally turning yourself into probably one of the biggest parodies of what you ever could have been.
But you're also exactly what
Right.
Vince McMahon wants.
And that's
as well.
what you're literally, you've turned yourself into a puppet.
Yeah.
But that's what Vince was. That's the biggest thing I took away was that Vince McMahon, like, all he cared about was the wrestling.
Yeah.
And, like, I couldn't get over it. Like, there'd be people, like, if they'd have a fight, he was like, okay, this is an idea, bring them back. People who, like, backstabbed me, bring them back.
But
woman who it's filed a sexual lawsuit against me,
bring them
her
back in,
I couldn't, like...
And
but this is the thing, the actual DNA of that permeated through all of wrestling. Like, I was in DCW and they were doing feuds like Linda, I'm going to cut this bit out, but like Joey's fucking partner Linda was assaulted, was like sexually harassed by the promoter, and they made that a storyline. They made that a storyline in DCW.
Bearing in mind, don't forget one of those promoters did go to prison as well.
Yeah,
that's what
I'm saying. So like, that whole. So this is what I'm saying. Like Vince McMahon's influence on wrestling is a cultural level. In the same way, like, okay, I'll qualify this. He's a Shakespearean.
I'm talking about my stomach.
Yeah, it's a Shakespearean level of wrestling in a sense. Like Shakespeare is an architect of English language in a sense. And Vince McMahon is an architect of professional wrestling as a culture. So the fact that like you mentioned about Triple H, like slowly and surely changing the culture of wrestling to be more like professional sport. Like you take off seasons, you take time off as you need it, and those who need the repetitions can have them. But like that wouldn't have flown in Vince McMahon's era. Like Vince McMahon says, no, you have to be this every week. I want you to be broken down.
Vince McMahon era. How many? There's 365 days in a year.
Yeah, working 300.
300, yeah.
And they were working 300 days a year, right? So you have what the time is off, right?
Yeah.
I'd say now, WWE, because they don't do house shows every week. They're not doing house shows every week in the US anymore.
It's like 80% of what they still do.
3 on, 3 off, is it?
Yeah.
3 on, 3 off, and then there's a rotation. So like there's some people who don't work house events as a point of order in their contract. So like the Punk and Rollins, they don't really do house shows.
Or it's like an opt-in for maybe.
Opt-in, yeah.
It is an option because Reigns won't do them anymore.
Reigns wouldn't be on it, no.
Right? So, but like that thing is like in Vince McMahon era, that would have been unheard of.
Yeah.
Like that would have been to him. That would have been sacrilegious.
Can I just ask one thing actually? What's your point in the Casey? Because I don't think he's fucking talked in the last 40 minutes.
We haven't got to Casey yet. Yeah. We haven't been fair. That's true actually.
Because Casey didn't pull out the man card like I did to get my
That's true actually, yeah.
Yes, you made us feel bad about that. Yeah.
Jonathan funny
and she was right to, in fairness.
The funny thing about it was,
yeah.
Had the thing is, if I'd just been saying it for shits and giggles and like it was a lie, you wouldn't have felt guilty about it. But the fact that I called you out on it, you all went, we have done that quite a lot.
Again,
yeah.
4 sippies
like,
on it, yeah, that's different.
Like, I love it straight away because Jonathan actually went. Jonathan looked down.
I was like, oh, oops.
Jonathan looked down and said, shit, I have been cutting her off. And you went like this.
No, it's worse because...
you were like that.
That's unreliable.
It's worse because I'll be editing this, I'll be hearing this in the future going, wow, I really was a cunt at that time.
It's like, at first, it's like...
Just have a cut-off meter.
Yeah. it's like you were on your phone and then as I was like going through that little rant, you were like this. Putting your phone down as if like I'm upset.
So yeah, actually, we'll talk to Casey here.
What's your kind of viewpoint on it all?
Yeah,
all the points that have been made. The most important one with the change that's been echoed by Randy Orton. He actually said, like Vince, if you go to Vince say, oh, my arm's hurt, Vince say, I need you, regardless. And like, but now with Triple H, it's like, you know, fuck off, get healed, go spend time with your family. That's more important. And like he admits, like Triple H knows that value. Also, with Triple H being a wrestler, he knows what it's like to be injured, to go through rehab, and come back, you know. So he would have that in his mind as well. Like the one about, oh, you lose your spot. It almost feels like they're safer now. They can go. Your spot will be there when you come back. So go get healed and come back.
What show was it? There was a recent show that Triple H didn't go to. Because his daughter was starting
Oh,
college.
it was the Clash. It was Clash in Berlin. Because then that reporter then put Cody on the spot then about the allegations.
Yes.
That's what it was. Yeah. So it's like, okay, so Triple H isn't here. He literally had to leave. His Aurora is starting college.
Yeah.
And like he's going
That's
to.
mad, by the way.
They're going to think that she was about to be a storyline as being Vince McMahon's child.
Yeah.
Do you know for a fact that Vince never did anything like that for Shane or Stephanie? That
I
never
think he
would've
probably
crossed
did
his
it for
mind.
Stephanie. I think
Oh,
he
he
didn't
definitely
do it
did
for
it for Stephanie. He
Yeah.
didn't do it for
Not for
Shane.
Shane. No.
I guarantee you, for Stephanie, he fucking would move heaven and earth for her.
Yeah.
Like, no, even at that, like, when I said about, like, he was doing, like, everything was about wrestling, like, his family life was, like, fucked, because, like, some of the storylines with Stephanie, like, remember there was gonna be, like,
At the incest storyline,
Yeah,
he was trying that for decades.
Do you know what the funny? Do you know what? Do you know what's
Decades.
hilarious? Do you know what's actually really funny
Like
though
you.
about that in the documentary, is you can tell how uncomfortable Stephanie was about that, right?
Yeah.
Because they ask her in the documentary, "Oh, was there any storylines that you didn't want to do?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, no, there was a few." And he's like, "Do you want to tell us what they were?" And you can see her kind of like, "I really don't want to talk about that."
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Vince. Oh yeah, it's like gonna be like her, like it's gonna be like she was pregnant and I was gonna be the father. I think it was something like that. It's like you don't think you fucking knew it was something like that. It's because you were still laughing about it, thinking it was the funniest fucking thing in the world.
It's like he cared so much about the act and the audiences, like, he didn't actually care about, like the family, or I don't know, like, I don't know.
The reason why I say
so
though the reason why I think though that why Stephanie would have gotten the better kind of father childhood in a sense out of him is because of how much general interest she showed in the wrestling business, whereas with Shane showed interest in everything else as well outside of wrestling. Shane was always looking at other ways to break out, and Vince didn't like that. Vince is like, no, it should only be about wrestling. You shouldn't be looking for other ventures. You should be looking at other territories for me to overtake. Why are you looking at other businesses?
It's that little bit of control, that little bit under the thumb, because like in a way, if Stephanie wants to be in wrestling, that's just that little bit under the thumb for Vince to want. Because Shane thought for himself, and again, it's the same thing. Shane and Vince are similar in personality, and in a weird way, I think it's like what I would call Irish son syndrome, in that like the father and son are so very similar in personality, therefore they clash. In a way, like you don't want to see the personality traits you have in your dad.
That's every Irish mother and daughter.
Yeah.
That's why we all fight.
To use a very literary term, I'm thinking of the book Philadelphia Here I Come. Francis Bean, I think it is, who wrote it. Fucking brilliant book, and it's very true to life. If you have, I wouldn't say you've had issues with your dad, but say if it's a father-son relationship, the whole book is just on the son trying to he's this last day he's going to in Ireland, he's going to Philadelphia, and it's all about him and his dad not talking about it and trying to talk about everything else, and it's that awkward silence and not talking about it and not confronting and all this sort of stuff. That if you read that book, that's Vince and Shane in a nutshell, because there's an elephant in the room that Vince has created by basically saying, I want it to be this way, I want it to be controlled, I want you to do the royal we decision, to do what I want to do. And Shane goes, no, I want to do this instead. I want to be X, Y, and Z, and you can't make me change. They're the same personality traits. And it's that one personality that clashes inherently, because stubborn meets stubborn and something has to go. And what went was Shane going, Joe, fuck you, I'm going to have my own family and do my own thing with my own business.
Yeah, and that's
and
what
fuck off.
do.
Yeah. Yeah. But that really came through in the documentary, in a sense, where like I think a lot of the incidents were the kind of like the pull, in a sense, of the documentary, where like you find about the Montreal screw job or the Owen Hart like situation. Those are things I think people outside the wrestling field would have heard of before, or the Benoit murder, the double murder. So those things were like the pull for the documentary. But the actual core of it was like, what actually is Vince McMahon and what does he actually do?
Who is he as a person?
As a person, and I don't think anyone actually knows. And that
No.
I think the documentary
Vince
actually got that across
doesn't
quite
even
well.
know.
Vince doesn't know exactly.
Vince doesn't know.
Yeah, it is that kind of thing where like I don't know what I am anymore, because he's so deep in his.
He's so rich. He's so fucking.
It's a neurosis in its own right, because you believed your own gimmick to the extent where you look in the. He says it. He's pretty signposted in the first episode of the documentary.
Yeah,
you look in the mirror and you look at your reflection and you don't know whether it's Vince McMahon or Mr. McMahon. And I think. The way I reasoned was that is the perfect cover to do whatever you want.
It is, though, that's the thing, and he got away with it for so long. Also, as well, I just want to ask, I don't know if I asked Aaron this before when we were talking about it. How many people actually believe Hulk Hogan in that documentary?
With the steroids thing?
When he said, when he went on the, shut up for a minute, when he went on the Arsenio Hall show.
Yeah.
And in that documentary, Vince is saying, I told him to tell the truth. And Hulk Hogan is saying, oh, I decided to go and lie, and I should have listened to Vince, and I should have listened to everyone. Who actually believes that?
Not a chance.
No one.
Not
That's
a chance.
bollocks.
Yeah.
Vince told him to fucking lie.
Yeah. Again, it's that kind of
As the fact
post-truth
that
thing.
Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan is still protecting that,
Yeah.
and still taking like shoulder, like putting that all. Oh yeah, no, that was all on me, and that was. It's
Yeah.
like, sir, how many times has Vince Stick been up your ass?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's like, is it a welcome home now at this point
Again,
when he fucks you over?
look at the company Hulk Hogan keeps. Like, he's on the fucking campaign run. He's looking for stuff. He's
Also,
excellent.
in a
He's getting
sense here,
something out of it.
it's when Linda fucking started going on about him fucking with Brutus Beefcake.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I fully believe it.
Yeah.
At this point,
that's-
I'm like,
yeah.
do you know what? Yeah, Brutus was definitely sucking your dick at one point in the 90s because
Yeah.
he was so coked out of it, and you were probably waving $50 bills. in his
100%.
face.
Yeah. Anyway,
Wrestling.
KC, what have you been
It's a
watching
fun
lately?
Wow, I have to follow that.
I was in the dead spot last time, so I feel your pain.
There's a quaint little show over in the British Isles called Brassic.
Ah, okay.
It's a drama me bollocks. It's more of a comedy with drama elements. It's about a group of friends owning a pot farm on a farm of a racist farmer who...
You mentioned racism and that.
That was the racist horn. Actually, we have to end the show there. Good night, everybody.
Is
That's
that the
the
one
one.
where? Is that with the one that has Michelle
Keegan, yeah.
Keegan in it? Is she still married to Mark White?
I think so, yeah.
I
That would check that.
probably...
Both of them are checking.
I think they are.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah, they
just.
just built a gigantic house and they did.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they just built a gigantic pot farm.
On
The
the
Gentleman, yeah, that was good, yeah.
Yeah,
But like, it's just had me laughing my ass off to the point where my dad downstairs, knocks at the door, goes, "You alright in there?" I was just like,
Daddy, you came home.
You got the milk.
It's
I'm
mid
sorry.
quarter now.
I saw an opportunity and I had to take it.
anyway. And a group of friends, and pretty much Brassic. I didn't know this until I told my dad about the show.
Yeah.
It means broke. So it's pretty much about them making money and not getting obscenely rich, but just enough to, be comfortable.
Well off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well off rather than. But it's just all about their schemes and hijinks. It's almost like Keenan and Kel for adults.
I was going to say
Oh,
only
I
fools
like
and
that.
horses. More so.
For
'Cause-
children.
For children, yeah.
No. Well, I'm not that fast on only fools and horses.
I'm gonna
Because
go
Adele
on.
Boy was always like, I have a scheme here, I have a plan to get rich and stuff like that. Whereas, like, different level.
However, Keenan was also, I have a scheme, I have a plan.
That's true,
And
actually,
because of I'd say because of more of the actors that are in it, it's definitely more Keenan and Kel.
You're probably right there,
adults.
yeah.
And like I'm a bit of a soap affinati. Completely mispronounced that word, I know.
Aficionado.
But affinado.
Aficionado.
Aficionado.
The man has a
Finessing it.
speech impediment, alright? Leave him alone.
But yeah, so I'll be watching Coronation Street, watching Emmerdale. Like I know the main character was Eli Dingle. He was in another thing as well.
This is England.
The superhero one.
Oh, My Hero?
Not My Hero. Ones where they were like convicts.
Misfits.
Misfits.
Oh, yes.
Misfits as
There's
well.
also a preacher.
So
Yeah.
and Preacher, he is in Preacher as well.
He's really good in
So
preacher.
like,
That should never have been cancelled either.
but like his main thing is he has ADHD and like he talks to a doctor and the doctor, spoiler alert, just is a bit of a weed head. So he's just half listening to him. He's like, okay, dude, get through your shit. Can I have some weed now? But it has that kind of drama bit built in, but the comedy is just like an overlayer.
Yeah,
When you dig deep in the show, it's like, oh yeah, he's got this going on, and each of them has their own problems. But it's just when the things that go scarways, it goes scarways in the most. Oh,
Over
you
the
did
top.
this one little thing, and that little thing has just set the ball rolling for so many other things. And yeah. So, but it brings up a complaint I have to have with these kids today and the modern streaming services. I subscribe to Netflix. Netflix has season 1 to 4. There's 6 seasons on it. So if I want to watch season 5 and 6, I have to subscribe to Sky. And Sky can go fuck itself. I'm not having any more services.
Fair.
Can I teach you to live the way of our Lord, Jesus Fire Stick?
I know what that is. We all pay for our own shit here.
Yeah.
I pay for.
No,
Sky.
it's on Amazon, Aaron. What are you talking about?
Yes.
I will say actually another one that I've watched and I really think every single person should jump on this. Slow Horses.
I've heard it's very good.
Right, Gary Oldman
Yeah.
Oh.
is fucking top fucking notch, and Jack London,
Yeah.
who was I only very remembered, like it was only when I was watching the most recent season of Slow Horses and I was like, oh my god, it's fucking Zach from Fighting With My Family.
Yeah.
I was like,
Jesus.
Jesus Christ. I was like, oh my god, I forgot you played Paige's brother. You actually worked with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and you're now Mrs. Saoirse Ronan. Mr. Saoirse Ronan.
Well, what a character arc that is.
But Slow Horse is actually probably one of the like I thought it was going to be really nitty gritty,
Yeah.
like MI5 type thing, and I kind of held off watching it because I'm not really into that stuff. It's one of the funniest fucking shows I've ever seen in my entire life.
Really? Yeah.
It is
Do
done
top-notch.
to perfection. So much so that I've literally bought the books.
Wow.
It's based
Okay.
off. I've already like they have it like each series is based off the book.
do they actually do that? Like one book is one series, like
One
Game
book
of
is one
Thrones.
series, yeah.
Good.
And these books were already written, so
You know where it's going.
I know
yeah,
where
yeah.
it is going with it, and it is just, honest to God, you're watching. Like I will kind of give you an example of what one of the like what Gary Oldman is like in this. He is the most disgusting creature to like. He works for MI5, and
Yeah.
he looks like a tramp. Like
I've
you
seen
look at
photos of
him.
yeah.
You look at him and you're like, you smell a cat piss. Like that's what you get.
Cabbage.
And then you start, and then as the show, and he's as the show is going on, and he's talking to some of the characters, he's talking to the head of MI5, and he's just like literally sitting there, and then all of a sudden he just raises up and just farts.
Oh,
And then he
fantastic.
continues on the conversation as if none had happened, and the character he's with is just like, you disgust, like, and they reference it, and he's like, oh, sorry, I didn't realise that you were fucking too posh to shit, like that type. It's so fucking good. George Lamb is the name of the character. No, Jackson Lamb. And it's fucking top notch entertainment. Highly recommended.
It kind of
The
reminds you a little
twist
bit.
that
Yeah.
happened, like there's a thing that happens at the start of the show that kind of Jack London plays a character called River. And that is actually his real character name, and it is River, and River Cartwright, and you're watching the show, you're watching what happens, and you're like, oh jeez, oh my god, that's a massive fuck up, and it gets him put in Slow House, and then you find out what the actual thing that happened was, and you're like, it's honest to God, I've never laughed harder in my entire life, because I'm gonna fucking tell you what it is off the camera, sort of thing. But it's just what happened. That's the type of It's fucking hilarious.
Do you know what it reminds me of? It sounds very familiar to anyone ever watch A Touch of Cloth?
No.
With not David Frost. What the fuck his name is?
It's a piss take on The Touch of Frost.
With Del Boy.
No,
he is Touch of Frost.
He is A
That's what
Touch of
I'm
Frost. He's
thinking,
David Frost. Yeah. Not David Frost, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a piss take of that particular show. It was one of Charlie Brooker's works. He did like a British version of Naked Gun. Only a couple of episodes, and again, it's one of those ones where like it's very literal puns, literal metaphors. It sounds like that kind of similar, like, you know, dialogue and exchange with like the characters are clearly shit at their jobs, but they're kind of making by. But no, it sounds good actually. Yeah.
Apple do. It's a very odd streaming service, Apple, but between that and For All Mankind, which I did watch the first half of season 1, I just never went back to it.
Yeah.
That's also great. And The Newsroom.
The Newsroom with Jeff Bridges is fucking brilliant.
Is that still?
No, not The Newsroom. Morning Show, yeah. Morning Show, which is
Steve Carell.
Steve Carell in it, yeah.
And Jennifer Aniston, Reese
Reese
Witherspoon.
Witherspoon, yeah.
I like
Great
the first
fucking
season.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking fantastic show. Apple do put out some decent fucking shit, even though their streaming service doesn't get a lot of praise.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be probably taken by someone eventually, or they'll buy someone out to put more shit in the library.
Yeah, it'll be a
But
merger
it's a
of some kind.
very small library.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of stuff in it. So I think it's made to kind of go in and out of it when needed. Like when The Newsroom comes back, the Morning Show comes back, I'll probably watch that, to be honest.
Yeah. It kind of lives and dies by its original series almost, like Hulu or HBO.
They don't buy stuff, and then the movies that they have, you know, Napoleon, which they re-released with an extra fucking half an hour worth of shit in it. It's like,
Oh my god, let that die.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
It's a fine movie, but fucking hell,
It's
nearly
long.
3 hours. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like I have difficult. Like I love, like Walk the Line. Like I love that film.
Mm.
But Jesus Christ, even I have difficulty sitting in and watching the whole bloody thing in one sitting at this point. I can watch a TV series, 10 episodes an hour long in one sitting with no fucking issue on it.
Yeah.
But Christ on a bike, if you have a movie that's more than 2 hours and 10 minutes, you better fucking blow someone up to keep me entertained.
If it's not an
I actually need, at this point now, I need to see a hardcore gay sex scene in a movie just to like wake
it
me
back
up,
up again, yeah.
just to wake me up and I'm like, wow, we've been here for 3. I watched The Irishman. Right?
Okay.
Oh.
I can't watch
Right.
that specifically because of the one time.
Right? I didn't even feel like I was watching that for 3 hours.
Okay.
It's spaced out like it's spaced out like I'm watching a TV series.
Yeah.
And it's fucking brilliant. It's actually one of those ones where it's like everything happens very neatly within each hour, and then it kind of does a cut to, let's say, Robert De Niro and they're talking to him in prison or something, and then it moves on to like the next act, next story. Like it feels like, okay, we're now watching another episode.
Yeah.
And it ties it up and then it cuts back to him again and then it's into the final hour.
Mm.
I was like, when it was over, Mom was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, what? And she goes, that was 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Was it? Was it?
It's a sign of a good movie if it can hold your attention to that for those 3 hours and you don't feel the passage of time. Because
Yeah.
again, we were doing a Lord of the Rings
Because that put
binge.
me off wanting to watch it. And
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like you're sitting there for 3 hours.
Because we did Lord of the Rings binge a good while back, and like we that kind of transitioned into the Hobbit movies as well, and you can kind of tell the difference. And quality is unfair, the wrong word to use it, I suppose here, but the difference in how they structured the movie is very telling. With the Lord of the Rings trilogy, again, we watched the director's cut, so like the movies are 3.5 hours. We're in for the fucking long haul. Doesn't feel it. It doesn't feel it at all. Like again, like you watch, get to the end of it, it's like, oh fuck, alright, it's time to go to bed. Like, you know. Whereas the Hobbit, you're going like, is it? Are we nearly there? Are we there? And it's just that difference in
Zack Snyder already traded that with the fucking
Justice League.
League re-release where he was it 4 parts or 3
Snyder
parts?
cut. I don't know. It's like 4 hours.
It's like 4 was, but he.
that's a slog though. In
But
fairness.
he did it. I think he even knew it was going to be a slog. Praising Zack Snyder. So he cut it up where you could watch them in 4 episodes if you wanted to.
Yeah.
There was part 1. That was a brick. Part 2.
Yeah.
Part 3. There's a brick. But I think it was cut up into 4 parts, wasn't it?
I think, but see, if you're
Yeah,
that stinks to me. Like you're going in wanting the thing to be structured that way, as opposed to like say going with your initial premise, and then say if you do end up being tight for time, something gets compressed, whatever else is. I think it's a bit indulgent to be going in initially expecting a 4-hour cut.
Oh yeah, but
you know what I mean.
That was just his fucking.
At least with the Lord of the Rings
passion
one,
project,
like that's again, you go based off the book. Like the books are fucking, they're tomes. You know what I mean? There's a lot to get through in a sense. You know.
Fuck, I think we should probably leave it there. To be honest, I think I'm going to fall asleep.
Jump.
Oh, I thought were you finished?
No. I
Oh
haven't
right,
even
no,
got
keep
mine
going,
yet.
keep going.
I was like,
Jesus
we don't need
Christ.
to hear about this cunt. Never mind.
I was yawning, so it's so. Oh fucking! I'm sorry. Go on.
In fairness,
go on,
it is his
sorry.
show, you know.
No, go on.
Well, actually, special guest. Yay! Wanna be in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened.
Kira's like, I thought you fuckers would have been gone.
In terms of stuff that we watched, because again, now that Kira's in the room, she can add her 2 cents into the matter. We have started off Yellowstone.
What do you mean you've only started Yellowstone?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, it's one of those ones where like I think the most recent seasons come out, so it's kind of like floats
It's now
around.
fresh in your mind again.
Fresh in
Oh
our
my
mind
god.
again.
It's actually really funny because me and Keith today
Well,
were
no
actually only
TV shows coming
talking
out.
about
Yeah.
cowboy boots, cowboy hats, flannels and stuff like that, and I was like, Keith was like, oh, if anyone was going to be a fucking Beth Dutton bitch, it's fucking you. I was like, that's the sweetest thing anyone has ever said.
So we're at this kind of the tail end of the first season so far. Bit of a mixed bag for me personally. It kind of like the first episode. I have a pet peeve, and I don't know if it's just me being a fucking arsehole or whatever. But like the first shot was like a horse like it being in fucking smithereens and stuff like that. And I've always had an issue with like immediately going like for sympathy using an animal. And I know it's not like a fucking real animal. I know it's all an act, it's all a show. No actual horses are harmed. But like, I think it's a really, really cheap shot to do something like that to get your attention, to get your kind of like, you know, you're going there, because that screams to me, I actually don't have anything strong enough in the writing to do this, so I'm going to have to go with a mutilated horse.
Oh, they've got really strong writing.
Now, this is what I was going to come back to this. So, I'm going to lump in the Yellowstone and the Bear in this one. So we've done the first season, The Bear. Fucking love it, right? We're going to be jumping into the second season soon. Again, we have not had much time to watch TV shows because we've done a fucking holiday and a wedding in between the two nerd sessions here, so we have not had that much time to watch stuff. But, so we started with Yellowstone, and I think Yellowstone and The Bear kind of have the same writing structure for me in terms of the seasons. Where, like, because it's a short run season and it's on a streaming service, the writers and the producers feel obliged to have to front load all the drama and the shock and the hook in the first season, which means then there's a big tail off in terms of drama and shenanigans for like episode 2, 3 and 4, but that's also an opportunity to actually develop characters and develop personality. Hello you.
Hello you. Yeah, Jonathan's kind of stuck his foot in it a bit when you're not around. I literally had to pull out user being
It was me and Aaron, in fairness, but like,
yeah, I actually had to pull out the male chauvinist card to two of the lads.
I was being silly.
Not just you.
The two of us were being silly.
Yeah.
We kept cutting her off and
Talking over me.
yeah, and then eventually she made us feel really bad. So we just got to stop.
But
Did you not learn your lesson?
Wait, was I?
Aaron never learns his lesson.
You weren't cutting me off.
If
You
I learned
fucking
my
didn't say a
lesson.
bloody word you didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
That would be character growth, and we
Yeah.
would be in all for it.
I'm 32 now. The character growth's done.
How will
I'm
you
just the way-
stop?
Never.
I am the way I am.
Nonsense.
Never.
Kid.
That's all bullshit.
You have it all ahead of you.
So yeah, no, I was just mentioning we started Yellowstone and Bear.
Yes.
So we've done the first
what was
season
your
of The Bear.
initial reaction to Yellowstone?
Oh, he's just after said it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the horse thing pissed me off so much. I mean, fuck this. No, I'm not. It couldn't have started.
Did you watch Yellowstone before?
I've never watched Yellowstone.
Mm.
It took me forever to figure out where I knew
Beth from.
Beth from.
Yeah.
So like the show couldn't
You
have
wouldn't
started.
think she's English. At all.
No. At all.
Does she have an air of superiority around her?
No, like she
No,
you actually
quite the
she
opposite,
is
actually.
so like she plays like her character in Yellowstone. Like honest to God, when I saw her in, was it Death? No, it's not Death on the Nile. Oh, it was one of those. She literally plays
Pride
a
and
character.
Prejudice.
Huh?
Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, but I wasn't from that. I had seen her from. There was a fucking.
That's where the voice was annoying me. And I
There's
was like, where do I know her from?
There's a Kenneth Branagh film that she was in.
Murder in the Orient. No,
It wasn't that one.
The
Death on the Line?
Did you mention that?
Oh, did
No,
she?
it's the other one.
Murder on the Orient Express or Death on the Nile.
Oh, it's okay. It's not that. It's not Kenneth Branagh. Then it's something else that she's
Knives
in.
Out?
Well, he has loads of films in fairness, but just because you said
Yeah, it's only because I know. I'll figure it out anyway. But it was when I saw her and she's actually speaking in her actual accent. I was like, she's fucking British. Yeah.
So
I was like, why the fuck didn't she pop up in Harry Potter?
so yeah, so even Kara was telling like
Shit standards.
I have such an annoyance of that because I've even like
A
switched
Haunting
off.
in Venice.
Ah, okay. Like I have such an annoyance about that. They're kind of like they're like, oh, this poor animal, we have to kill it off now, and I hate that as a trope, as a kind of a thing where like garner sympathy to kind of get the shock nature of for the audience. I've switched off games because of that. I've stopped watching TV shows because it was like, fuck off. No.
Did you see the recent thing by the GSPCA? It was really bad.
No,
Yeah.
what's this?
It was horrible.
Yep.
It was about a horse.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, but like so like.
Bring real life into
So,
this, please.
Okay.
so the show couldn't have started on a worse footing than that for me. It was like I'm just going, yeah, I'm not, fuck this. And then what I will say about the Yellowstone is, I at least for certain things from the first season, a lot of episodes are style more than substance at the moment. And now we're actually finally getting to the stage like the 5th or 6th episode in. Now we're finally actually getting the bit of the plot. We're finally getting a bit of character. And it's like, okay, now I'm actually learning something. You could have fucking done this a few episodes previously. And
know
that's
why
the
they
issue
didn't?
I have.
Do you
with
want
it.
to tell you why they didn't do that?
Yeah.
Because they were already guaranteed a new season.
Yeah, okay.
That's why they don't.
Yeah.
So shows nowadays, thank you, they're not guaranteed to have a season 2.
Yeah.
So that's why now when you're watching shows and they're actually everything is happening all at once.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas with Yellowstone's on a network. Yellowstone's on a network that has enough money that they can.
Paramount,
Okay.
isn't it?
Yeah.
well, if they're paying Kevin Costner, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like they have his production company is a part of it. So I mean, so he actually is taking a pay cut.
Yeah, but he still gets a wage.
Yeah. So, but he took an acting pay cut on it.
Yeah.
To get it.
So like,
Who
so
gets the profits?
Yeah, exactly. That's the best reason for him. At least then you actually know I want the show to continue.
yeah.
Which is like, that's what you want. Like, I would much rather an actor produced the show and took the production credits as opposed to taking $1 million on their fucking wages on
Coming
it
in and
instead.
cashing in and fucking off. Yeah,
Exactly, yeah.
Is this how you're slowly
But-
going to leave? Just
yeah,
like
it's
that.
like-
This is what we call Jerry's Irish goodbye.
But yeah, so it is
Yes,
done
it's
such a
a
way-
it's on camera and it's not really a slide.
But they were guaranteed at least 3
Yeah.
seasons, so they didn't have to hot rush everything.
Oh no, that's grand. You see, but
And they were already guaranteed a prequel.
But even then, it
So
also
that-
kind of proves that point as well. Is that they
They were
still
key.
use the same writing structure. In a sense, if they know there's no rush, they can at least try and introduce the plot in a way they would normally. Let's say if they had a run of 20. I know you can't get a 20 episode run anymore. That's just impossible. But if you had the time and place to do it, you'd be able to do it. Now they have to pick their battles and be smart with how they write things.
They still exist though. It's just that they're not going to ever happen on streaming services.
No, probably not. But but
Like,
that's
I mean,
the goal.
there's a new comedy coming out. Saint something. It's like
Yeah.
set in a hospital. It's got from the same maker as Superstore.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a 20-season fucking TV show.
Casey.
So
But that'd be interesting to see how that works out. In fairness, hey, everyone. How's that
it's one of those fucking
That's not mine.
do you know?
It is mine.
I was
So-
like, it's not mine.
like,
Yeah, no, because I was
So-
like, the only thing I took off was my hoodie.
So the reason I mentioned both also at the bear at the same time is that the bear felt like it was in a bit of a rush to get his point across in a sense, and again it's not a point against it in a sense. It's just it's the writing style they picked because
It's just because I've arrived.
no it's past bedtime.
No,
Do I
to be-
smell?
This
What?
by the way, this episode was supposed to run for an hour. We are now nearly hitting 2.
That's because Amy said fuck I got a taxi.
Yeah, that's just true the whole time now. Fuck it, I get a cab. Alright, then.
When does it ever go to time?
In fairness we didn't start till like 5 and that was on me serving food.
Yeah.
because I only got here at like 4 o'clock.
When do any of the episodes
Well,
Do any of the
the
recordings
last couple of times
ever go to time?
Kira,
fair-
can you please stop doing the hand hips? You're scaring me.
So
So like I said, Yellowstone started off on a sour note for me. It's kind of won me back, and I'm now back to being intrigued, and I want to see what the story is. So I suppose, like, from a
No,
right,
there's no gratuitous animal violence.
and just one thing for just general modern TV shows. Can you stop just fucking killing off characters every episode for drama? Like Yellowstone killed off a character every episode, bar number 5. The first 4 episodes had someone dying in it. It's like, just stop doing it. It annoys the fuck out of me. It's just like, okay, I just won't get invested in these characters then if they're going to be fucking sacked off at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
What's the fucking point? You know what I mean? Is it like, okay, it's supposed to be the Wild West all over again in the modern day. I get that. But like, it's so fucking retiring to just have, fuck it, we'll just kill him off at the end. Oh, look at the drama. Oh, he's pushed off a cliff. Hilarious. It's like, no, it's fucking reductive. Like, for me, it's reductive. To do that. I thought you picked it up, Pablo. Sorry.
I didn't know it was done.
Oh, there you go. Dunzo.
Thank you.
Welcome. So the bear is a good example of a show that really won me over in the last few episodes, because there was that.
Oh,
Did you fall asleep?
no, did I fall asleep?
Yes!
Shit.
Jesus Christ! This is your
I
show.
didn't mean it.
This is your
I didn't
show.
realise. I know I was staring at the screen, but I already zoned out. They got to fall asleep. Me sitting
Yeah.
going,
So
Yeah, that's...
yeah. Oh wait, panna cotta there if you want as well.
Ooh, hey, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah. So
How
the
long's it
bear.
been out of the fridge though?
Like an hour or 2. Should be okay. It's pretty cold in here, in fairness. But yeah, so the bear really kind of like the last 2 episodes really fucking got. Again, it's the same kind of thing where like they try to hammer home like the vibe of the show in the first episode or 2, and then they actually let the characters breathe a bit in the middle of the season, and then. This 9th episode was the one where everything's just so fucking frantic. It's just chaos. It's like there's nothing. It's just a day where everything goes wrong. Type of thing.
He don't know anything about Frantic yet.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I agree with you on that now. In fairness, but I think the actual last episodes of that series was actually my favorite, and it was just the fact that like everything finally came together and it all started to like wrap up a little bit. Again, it's I am personally not a fan of the style of writing that warrants to like 10 episode runs, because you basically it's on the presumption that you're going to be watching the full 10, whereas I'd be saying, good lord, what grace, what elegance.
I'm fucking very graceful and very elegant.
And I'd say like it's a personal pet peeve, so I'm trying to get over that.
That word's actually just come out of your mouth.
He was asleep a couple of seconds ago, so I'm just going to blame it on that.
For a second.
So yeah, in terms of stuff that I've actually properly watched back, because I don't want to, I think like we probably want to watch a bit more Yellowstone before we pass kind of summary judgments.
Yeah, we haven't even hit a season yet.
Yeah, exactly. We're loving The Bear, so we're gonna press on with The Bear. Obviously, Kira, you've got your kind of stuff that you're watching as well.
Yeah.
You mentioned Reacher and MASH.
MASH is just a good comfort rewatch.
Yeah, and I want to get stuck into MASH as well.
Are we all rewatching things that we've watched before?
Well, on
We
that
literally
topic,
had that conversation. But
Yeah.
the fact is that literally there's no point in watching anything new because it's just going to get
Shite
cancelled.
rock as well.
no, I knew
Yeah.
that, but I mean at this exact. I
Dead
don't mean in
Boys
general.
Detectives was class.
yeah,
I
Dead
don't.
Okay,
Boys
fair.
Detectives was fucking class. They
There's always an
cancelled it.
exception.
yeah,
Doom Patrol, class. 5 seasons, cancelled it.
yeah.
Well, I think that just had its natural conclusion,
No, it
wasn't it?
didn't. No, they decided not to put into it. 'cause
Wait, when did they
Brendan
get cancelled? What year?
when Brendan Fraser won his Oscar. They
But what
cancelled
year
it.
was that? Again.
It's like literally like last year.
21, 22?
Yeah.
22, I think. Yeah.
That would have been around the same time that James Gunn took over at DC, so I think he scrapped.
Cancelled. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, scrapped
to
a whole
just
load of shit.
clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a clean
He's
slate
like,
to get
they
his
don't
universe
fit.
out.
They don't fit into my thing, so we want to get. I'm getting rid of them now.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
No, it's
He
not.
wants to
No,
clean-
you're
not
not
fair.
building a whole
That's
brand
not fair.
on these people's
Yeah,
backs.
but overall,
That's
right?
not. Hold on. Just because it doesn't fit my vision of something.
No,
Do you know what? I didn't create. That's literally the Vince McMahon mentality. I didn't create it, so I'm going to get rid of it.
Let's
No.
rename you.
no. The thing is right. He doesn't. There's so
I'm not gonna
much.
go that far with him. Jesus, that he'll never fucking come back. He might lose. He's already fucking paying organised terrorists in for.
Oh yeah, you missed that bit. It's the
I heard that
preamp.
story earlier on.
Oh, you
though.
did, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
No,
I mean,
what I'm trying
like,
to say is
he's going to need
with
all
James
the
Gunn
fucking
has a
help
very
he can
clear vision of what he wants for the DC universe.
get. So when he
because that
comes
shit-
out as a sexual nonce as well, are you still going to have the same
No,
viewpoints?
no.
So then be very careful with how you.
What I'm
place
trying to
it
say
now.
here is that he quite clearly.
Wait, is there rumours about him?
No,
No.
he's had some dodgy tweets in the past, but that's about it. The point I think James Gunn had is that he wants to. DC has been a mess for a decade, right? We've had 2 Shazam movies that I don't think connect to the wider universe. We had a Black Adam movie that didn't connect to the wider universe. Most of the TV shows. You have one Suicide, The Flash, that technically did, and then suddenly didn't anymore by the end of it because they brought George Clooney back as Batman. We had one Suicide Squad movie that was so bad they made a second Suicide Squad movie and killed off everyone from the first Suicide Squad movie.
Except for Harley.
So I think when he took over, it was just like, right, we're just going to clean stuff up. Everything that comes out from here on in is under the one umbrella. He didn't want to cancel Superman vs. Lois, but I don't think the CW wanted to pay for it anymore.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, so that's why I think that's more why they cancelled that than anything.
It doesn't fit with the CW anymore.
It
That's
doesn't.
why they
They're
got
more or
rid of
less just buying. I think they're just exclusively just buying overseas stuff now,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
And
so
reality shows. So
and reality shows, and they've also got NXT. So I understand why he decided to cancel all of them as well. It kind of made sense why he wants to do it, because he wants to clean stuff up. It's just like this is what the fuck are we doing? We've got like 4 universes on the go. You know what I mean? What the fuck are we doing? Marvel doesn't have 4 universes on the go.
No, but Marvel also has an oversaturated market that people aren't watching.
Oh yeah. No, that's.
So
Too
the
much
fact
too
is,
soon.
Too
so
much
that's
too
the
soon,
thing.
yeah.
So that's the whole thing is it's
Too
like
often.
Yeah.
exactly. So and yet James Gunn has decided we're probably going to end up doing the exact same thing, but it's under my terms now.
And I think
Because I do it.
I do it,
I
and
do it
people
now.
like
Everyone,
me.
it would
But I
like
think
doing
he's
Does
it.
already
everyone
said-
remember Guardians of the Galaxy? Yeah, people like me.
Yeah.
well,
I know
mean,
how to wrap up a story.
It's 3. He's got 3 of those on his back. He's also got the Suicide Squad movie and Peacemaker.
So does that not scream to the fact that he's probably a little bit overstretched, and maybe
Well, see,
he shouldn't be cancelling shows if he's just devoting too much, and maybe he should just delegate
But I
what
think
he's doing.
the only thing he's going to do with the new universe is set out the timeline like Kevin Feige. He's doing Superman. He has his fingers in that because he wrote and directed it.
Yeah.
But after that, it's just... let's just say Supergirl's coming out. He's getting filmed in January, right?
Yeah.
He's like, we'll film it. These are the big points you have to hit because we need...
So
the
it
wider
sounds
universe.
like he has everything kind of relatively organised.
He's everything relatively organised.
So
and he can still
why are
do-
these shows being cancelled?
because he doesn't want any more
They don't-
confusion
'cause
anymore.
They don't fit into his.
He has an idea of
Yeah,
what he
but
wants to
then-
do with DC, and it's been such a mess for a decade. It's like, right, let's just hit the fucking reset button. Let's just get everything in fucking order, and we can then do more shit afterwards. Because I think
So in saying that, then right doesn't fit in with my universe, and he's resetting it. Right? Let's go on that thing. So that means then that fans of shows that were there, they're not going to get those back at all, because they don't fit in with his universe, or that means then they have to be rebooted to fit into his universe.
It's a royal we decision,
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a case of you had excellent series. I'm going to use Doom Patrol as the example just because it is actually, because that actually ran for
That ran for a long
right,
time, yeah,
they
five
did actually
seasons.
have a good time on that one, right? So you
first
had
season was
five,
good as well. I never went back to it.
right? So you had that had a really good run. That didn't dip either. Like that was consistently good, right? On this sense here. So
It
if
had good
he
ratings,
was,
if I remember.
had excellent ratings, it did. All right, and it actually got Brendan Fraser back on the map, right? It actually was the start of his research and stuff, right? So that doesn't fit in with his universe, which means we're going to cancel it and we're going to reset. And this is my timeline. To this, if he comes out and says, right, we're going to redo a Doom Patrol, why?
What was the
Why-
point?
what was the point then?
Yeah.
Just because you want to fit it into your timeline
Instead of changing
instead
the
of
style.
changing the
Yeah,
style.
no,
of it.
that's fair. Yeah, if he ends up doing that, yeah. But I understand why he made the decision that he made.
I honestly I think it's a bad decision because not everything has to be connected with Marvel, because when you do connect it, it's oversaturated. It's too much.
And
And people lose interest in it because then they end up rewriting their own history.
And it's also that quality of authorship as
Secret
well.
Wars
You, like,
being that example.
yeah, like it's that quality of like having so much like involvement in the project in a sense where like you might enjoy James Gunn's work and you think he's the right
Other people don't.
purpose. People don't. And the same with like some people will enjoy Michael Bay movies because boom explosion Shia LaBeouf. Some people couldn't give a fuck about Michael Bay, and they don't like him, and they don't like his work, and they don't like his style.
I can name 2 Michael Bay movies that I actually generally like.
And
One of them is fucking Armageddon, for Christ's sake.
yeah, Armageddon probably the one that comes to mind.
It's a phenomenal movie.
Well, that's the same thing. Where like sometimes like you were
Probably
meant.
one of the best fucking.
I think actually in the
Yeah.
in the previous video you were talking about Christopher Nolan, and it's the same thing where like you
I know.
always have a but with
I love-
every director and everything. No one
Oh,
has
yeah.
a immaculate
I
record.
absolutely adore the
Like
story of
Martin
Ben
Scorsese
Affleck.
is the same
Wouldn't
thing.
it
Where
just
there's
be
always
smart?
I think the most
Martin
recent case of James Gunn is
The astronauts
yeah,
to
but
be drillers.
right.
Shut up, Ben. Okay.
Brightburn.
Yeah. So
So
but there's al-
evil Superman.
that's what I'm saying. There's always something, but like it's the fact that like when the director or producer objectively goes, no, actually, I know everything. I should be the one to do this, and then he gets his way, and then that kind of
It
like
was a-
that cascade effect
Do
is
you know
not
what
right
actually is a
either.
good way of looking at this? J.J. Abrams?
Yes, great example actually.
Abrams.
That's a
Yeah,
fucking
Sorry,
great
Abrams,
example.
sorry. Right,
Yeah.
Abrams, right? He had Star Trek.
And Star Wars.
Yeah.
And
At
they
the
were
same
like,
time.
this
Star
is
Wars,
brilliant.
same
Oh my
time.
god, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And he made me interested in Star Trek.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then they gave him Star Wars. And then all of a sudden Star Trek shit the bed.
Yeah.
And Star Wars shit the bed, to be
And
fair.
but like they're literally, and it's like that was literally a case of you seem to know what you're doing. We're
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
give you both these products.
That is a perfect example.
And it's the same thing. Like I'm not going to say he doesn't, because James Gunn does know what he's doing.
Yeah.
But to give him that much power, he's going to shit the bed.
Yeah. By giving it
I
to
don't
just
think
one
everything's going to
voice.
work. I don't think
Yeah.
everything's going to work, but I think if
See,
Basically,
here's the problem is
if
one
his very
thing-
first thing is
here's
going to
the-
make or break him.
Here's the problem is if one thing fails, he's going to be seen
Oh,
as a failure.
100%.
That's the
If
worst
Superman
thing.
fails, it kind of fucks him.
I would
Yeah.
actually say you like James Gunn as a point of order should actually learn from J.J. Abrams in this situation, because Amy just made it perfectly there. The
The
movie
Game
that
of Thrones guys as well.
yeah, good point. Yeah, but like J.J. Abrams objectively did make the best Star Trek movie, and that's a hard thing for me to say because I don't like J.J. Abrams. I don't like his work. I think he's a charlatan. Personally, I don't think he's a good writer. I don't think he's a good director. I don't think he's a good producer.
He's a good script doctor.
Good script doctor,
That's
yeah,
it.
absolutely. But and his work has reflected that because fucking Lost.
An awful lot of movies, horror movies in the 90s, were actually J.J. Abrams
Yeah.
movies that he cleaned up.
Yeah, and this
That explains why I don't know.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the same way with,
If you look
it's the
back
same
into
with
it, you'd see him, yeah,
It's
yeah.
the same way with Carrie Fisher.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can actually, she might not be credited on these movies,
Yeah,
but
she
you,
did a
you
lot-
know
she did a lot of
what,
work,
you
yeah.
fucking know what movies she was a script doctor on
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you're watching them. like.
Terry Matalas is that now at the moment, where he's now the next kind of Abrams up in the sense where like I know this lore at the back of my hand. I'll direct this show, and he's the kind of same thing. But the thing is, I use Terry Matalas there because he got the nod for the Star Trek Picard series that everyone loves because it's a nostalgia act. but he's not getting any other fucking gigs in a sense, because like that was his thing and that's it. Paramount is smart enough to go, okay, we're not giving the keys to any one person. So with J.J. Abrams, the cautionary tale was that the first Star Trek movie with Karl Urban and fucking Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto, fucking brilliant. Did not deserve to be that good. And not only that, but it gave a canonical reason to exist. It gave a timeline thing. So like basically J.J. Abrams said, listen, for the Trekkies out there, if you don't like me, you don't like my work, you can just hand wave this as an alternate timeline. And we said, brilliant, fuck it, we'll do exactly that because you're a charlatan. And that's fine. Then the powers that be said, you know what, let's give him a second movie. And that second movie was bad. Because what he did was he tried to rewrite the Wrath of Khan, which a lot of, like say, actual Trek is considered to be the one and only best Star Trek movie. Star Trek 5 is a strong shout there because that's an actual genuinely good movie outright of Star Trek. So then, and then the third movie, Beyond, is apparently quite good. Never watched it. Didn't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of way. Yeah. That is, you see how that trajectory is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is the cautionary tale of like, you don't, that's why you don't give the executive producer to just one person.
But you kind of, I understand your whole argument there because I think my one and that one is Zack Snyder.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But someone like Zack Snyder and you done with Gunn.
But when it comes, see the thing is when you're doing a superhero universe, right? You kind of have to have one person at the top.
No, I disagree with that.
No, because every other time it's been tried where you didn't, and you had too many cooks in the kitchen, it ends up being a fucking disaster.
A lot of people said that about Star Trek, and right now it is not Gene Roddenberry anymore doing it. It is a group of people doing it.
That's fine.
And producers jump in and out, directors jump in and out.
To superhero movies, you should always have someone who is actually currently working on a particular comic on your staff at this point, right? Because I'm not finished, Aaron. Because when it comes to superhero comics and comic book movies, that's actually what most people are looking for. They want to see their comic book character on the screen, right? And this is why an awful lot of people actually piss all over Tim Burton's Batmans, right? Because they don't follow the comic book at all. They brought one of the biggest riffs that people still have on 89 Batman is the fact that Vicky Vale was in the Batcave. Bitch should never have been. This is a gripe that I have on it. That bitch had no right to be there. No one should have ever been in there. Alfred would never have let her fucking in the bloody door. He would have shot her on sight, right? That's literally, that's not even an exaggeration. That's exactly what would have happened.
Yeah.
Right?
Politely.
And it became, the reason why the other Batman movies kind of ended up working the way they did is because they kind of became a bit of a parody of themselves. And they were over the top though with the comic book aspect on it. And that's why they were. Val Kilmer is actually a phenomenal Batman in that movie, right? Batman Forever is actually an excellent comic book movie because it is over the top and outlandish and it works as a comic book movie the way it should. And even when you look at the background sets on that movie, even as you're
massive orgies going on.
even as you're watching,
what Batman have you watched?
I'll send you the link. But even as you're watching the background scenes and sets in that particular Batman Forever, it's over the top and it's outlandish in colour. It's all neon. And it works really, really well. Because it's like, that's exactly how it would be in the comics. Then Christopher Nolan decided,
let's make it grungy.
Let's actually do a different type of timeline on Batman. Let's see how he became Batman.
Yeah.
And he literally went back to the comics and had, alright, who do I need for this? Okay, this is the person I need for this.
Yeah.
Okay, these are actually the characters that I need to bring. Holy shit, we've never seen this character before in the Batman movie. Let's bring this in. And he did it to perfection, to the extent where no one else has now has even attempted to do a Batman origin story in a sense, because even with the not Tom Pattinson, the Robert Pattinson one, he's already kind of Batman. They're not showing him. They're not showing him how he actually trained to be this.
And I think the thing is as well is that you don't, at least when it comes to Batman, out of all the characters in fucking comics, you never need to show his parents getting killed again.
Yeah,
I think everyone kind of knows how Batman.
We get the gist of it from
now. The training bits, fine. I think Christopher Nolan's the only one to actually show him getting trained and all that stuff.
Are you in Paris right now? You're literally just
Again.
repeating just
I know,
what I've
listen,
said.
I know, but there's just
He's circling to whatever point he's
sorry,
making, I'm sure.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am. Right, but going with like universe, right? And this is what my point I was trying to make is that James Gunn has already come out and said that he might have an idea for Superman and he's going to do it, right? So the Batman, the Brave and the Bold is going to come out. Is it in like 3 years? I think it's meant to be like a 2 year. It's meant to be like Batman in this third year, and it's meant to have the introduction of a Robin, which we haven't had since Batman and Robin. I think.
Batman Forever was when the
Batman
introduction of
Forever.
Robin.
Well, sorry, yeah.
Mhm.
Right?
Because Christopher Nolan's one never intended him to be Robin. If he ever
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was more of a
literally- it was
studio
just-
thing,
It
wasn't
was
it?
just a play on the name. That
Yeah.
was it. That was the only
Yeah.
reason why it was.
Yeah. But it's about how he's gonna do the universe. If it's gonna be one viewpoint in the whole thing, he's gonna be going back to what fucking Zack Snyder did, and everyone tried to follow him doing it. It's
Yeah.
all dark and grungy, and Batman's a brooding cunt. It's like Batman really
Again,
shouldn't be a brooding.
So
Bastard,
this is what we're talking about with like different directors' interpretation
I
of a
would
character.
prefer it though if James Gunn actually did, if it was a case of you don't really need to bring him in with Robin, just give Batman his son for Christ's sakes. I would love to finally see a Damian Wayne
I think it's how they're gonna do it,
on screen.
and I think it's just like apparently his plan is just gonna be right. You have a Batman movie, and I need Robin in it. Do what you want to do with it.
But you have
And
Damian
we'll-
Wayne. Just have Damian Wayne as the Robin. And
That's
'cause then you
probably
already
what
have-
they'll do.
Because then you already have fucking Dick Grayson is already in that movie. You already have a Nightwing as well.
Yeah.
It's like I don't need to. Do you know what? I know that Robin becomes Nightwing. I know that happens. I
Yeah.
don't need to see his parents dying again. Thank you very much, Joel Schumer.
Yeah.
I don't need to see that again. Okay, I would love, however, to see Batman actually dealing with his own fucking kid.
Which is something that hasn't been done to my knowledge
Ever.
in the movies at all.
Ever, yeah.
The
And-
cartoons have done it
And immediately you have a new angle.
amazingly.
And that's what I'm trying to say. It seems
Yeah.
like James Gunn is just going to go, right.
It also gives us
Batman?
an excuse to have an older Batman. Just give me Jensen in his Batman role.
And he might be
You know,
Batman.
honest to God, at this point, because and then this is the only thing that I really, really like James Gunn for, and I know I just bitched about it there for a second with his all, I only want the same people in the universe, but he also wants the voice actors
Yeah.
to play their parts as well.
Yes.
And Jensen is Batman in the voice.
Yeah.
So as long, it seems like he's just going to go, right, I have ABC,
Yeah.
but I want your vision. I want them to be distinctly different from everyone.
Yeah. But that
His
and that,
Superman movie is going to be nice and hopeful, and he's
Yeah.
going to be a pet, and he's got a dog.
so the way I describe it is that the way I
Whereas
describe
Batman's
it is
going to be breaking skulls.
so
Fucking
would,
hilarious.
would you agree with our point? Because the point that we kind of had centrally, and perhaps you guys can to let me know if I'm wrong here. But like, it's
If
better to
he-
have him steering the ship rather than actually setting the course.
Yes.
Would that be fair?
Yeah.
So the thing is, I have no problem with him sitting on this little top of his ivory tower
Yeah.
and fucking Iron Man in it and pulling
And
out
shifting
where he
all the
wants
Yeah.
slides. Yeah.
as long as he doesn't decide to go, actually, do you know what, I'm going to do this as well.
Yeah.
And as long as he doesn't go, actually, I could probably direct this one. And you
And
will
then
bring
intervene
stick to the
directly.
plan.
Yeah.
As
Don't
long
be too-
as he doesn't decide, actually, I'm better than everybody, I'm just going to do it myself.
Yes, that's-
I'm the
yeah.
only voice I
Yeah.
wanted to hear.
As long
Never
as he,
mind anybody else who knows the lore better than me.
as long as he
Yeah.
doesn't do that,
Yeah.
then I probably won't have an issue with it. I'm still bitter about
Because
Doom
that's
Patrol.
the mistake that
But, like-
J.J. Abrams made.
I mean,
with
I didn't
Sci-Fi.
notice. I didn't notice at all that you were about Doom Patrol.
I just think, do you know what? How dare you take that away from Brendan
Yeah.
Fraser?
I could be that snappy with fucking Superman and Lois, to be honest. Fucking prick him and then just took that away.
Well,
from him.
Isn't it nice though? For once, it's not me bitching about Supernatural. It's nice. It's like, oh my god, she did watch something else.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
there has to be some things that need to be mentioned on every show that we do. I need to mention when there's a Seinfeld reference in anything that we watch.
You did that already earlier on today.
Did that already on
Yeah.
I need to
Bette
bring up
Midler.
Jensen.
You need
Yeah,
to
I
bring
meant
up
Jensen,
Jensen
yeah.
and Supernatural, and I need to shoehorn in a CM Punk reference inside there somewhere.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's probably just as well that we actually spoke about the Mr. McMahon documentary because it actually gave you a shoe in to bring him up.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I got to bring up Jim Cornette as well, which is a
Yeah, you've had a great day.
I've had a great day without getting
I'm
shot.
not gonna lie. Actually, I really wish Jim Cornette was in the Mr. McMahon
I
documentary.
kind of, yeah, I would have.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, he would have literally just pulled out a black book
If McMahon was
and
not
just went
involved,
just went January 18th, 1987. 98 or 18, 19, 20 and the 21st. This is actually where he let everyone fuck his daughter. Like that's like
Yeah.
I'm not
At which Macho Man enters the room and yeah.
That's
Everybody
actually
else leave.
that's actually one of those things as well. That's actually the one rumor now that I fully would never actually believe ever happened.
Yeah.
Right? And do you know why? It's nothing to do with anything other than the fact that no other woman in the locker room ever had a bad word to say about Macho Man Randy Savage. The only thing they always said was he was very controlling of Liz, right? And part of me now that I've watched an awful lot of Dark Side documentary, I'm like, no fucking wonder he kept her locked in his locker room. He was like, you fucker stayed away from my wife.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm actually, everyone's like, oh, he was very controlling of her and he wouldn't let her be around with anybody. He wouldn't let her be around any of the boys and he wouldn't let her do this and he wouldn't let her go out and stuff. And I was like, yeah, do you know why? Because he saw what these all were doing.
Mm-hmm.
He literally was doing her a favour and he's painting him out to be the bad guy. No, okay, right, at some point he probably was a bit of a dick. But like, majority of the time when they're saying, oh, he wouldn't let her fraternise with the boys, he's actually questioning
there's a reason
why.
for that. Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
actually, do you know what? I've watched enough Dark Side of the Ring to know y'all would have fucking probably gotten her on the drugs quicker.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
As soon as Macho Man was out of the picture with her, wow, she turned to drugs really fucking quickly because he was not keeping her locked up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I suppose like for the stuff that I've actually watched like outright in between our watch alongs is actually I did a proper binge watch of The Day Today and Brass Eye. Did a full deep dive of Chris Morris stuff.
Have you still not told us what you were watching?
No, because you started talking about superheroes for 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
How did we even get into this?
I actually can't remember.
Was it the Doom Patrol thing that we got into the superheroes?
Yeah, I think it was.
Did we get
It
the
went
this one?
from why he doesn't like short form 10-episode series.
Yeah, it's a pet peeve of mine. I'm getting used to it in a sense.
Oh
But-
yeah.
So like, ironically enough, like I think
It's a pet peeve of mine. I'm just getting used to it. It's like, bitch, you don't have a choice in the office.
No, I don't. I know. I agree.
That's just the way TV's going.
That's the
now.
way
You just
TV's
gotta
going,
fucking.
It's your show.
Yeah, but like I said, that's because like I'm enjoying the comfort of having like a nice syndicated show to watch. Like if it's not West Wing, it was NCIS or Criminal Minds, whatever. It's nice having the kind of quantity there, and like everything kind of fleshes out as time goes. But anyway, so Brass Eye, I like genuinely believe like it's the best kind of satire you're going to get because it's something that's never going to be able to be made again. It was made but it was made at the right time with the right people. And when I mean the right people, I mean the celebrities they hoodwinked into being in it.
Yeah.
So like,
Or the celebrities they gave a chance to have their first on-screen role in.
yes, exactly. So like, who you see in the room? You probably have seen or heard of at least Brass Eye or The Day Today. Probably not The Day Today in a sense.
Brass Eye.
Brass Eye was
No,
probably more provocative of the
Brass
two.
Eye would have been more my thing. I don't think I've ever actually heard of it.
So The Day Today was just a complete spoof of the news. That's all it was. It was a spoof of the news.
Yeah.
And the crack was that it was like it's
Oh, you're cute.
oh
Oh, you're so cute.
the moo cow.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's a complete spoof of the news. So like Chris Morris is the head anchor, and then you have like all these different correspondents. Robert O'Hanrahan,
I love that
Peter
name.
O'Hanrahan, yeah, and that's a hilarious one because like he's the roaming reporter and he just doesn't know what he's talking about.
What did he say in German? He was like,
Ich nickten, lichten. I said I don't like it, but I have to go along with it. Did he say that? Yes. In German? Yes. What did he say in German? Ich nickten, lichten. And then Chris Morris says something in like German. He goes, yes, that was it. No, Peter, that is. I'm sorry, I have to go. I'm late for my plane. It's like, so what did he say? He didn't say anything. Did you find it? No.
we've all been there. We've all been there at some point in our lives when somebody
I was
catches you out, you're just like, oh fuck.
So he makes a, like your man O'Hanlon makes a gaff in one of his things, and he goes like 100,000 like the redundancies. It's the biggest redundancy in European history. It's like 100,000 redundancies. That's quite a big number. Yes, the biggest one in history. Yes, it's because the factory only employs 35,000. so surely you mean 10,000? And he doubles down. He goes, no, it's 100,000. I have it written here in my notes. It's like, Peter, show me your notes. Actually, no, Peter, no, Chris, it's 10,000. No, Peter, show me your notes. And turns it around, and he has a little picture of a cobweb on his notes with a spider. It was like, Peter, why is there a drawing of a cobweb? I was like, I don't know. Peter, you're standing in a news grave. What does it say on your tombstone? News. Peter, thank you. And it's just the delivery of it. It's fucking. It's just like the first, like they do these kind of like like in BBC News they have someone on to talk about something in particular, like a charity, whatever else it is.
Guy.
Yeah, guy, right? So they had this lovely woman on, and it's like, oh, I've had like I'm doing like jams or whatever, for like the celebrity, and like it's the drinks cooler.
Oh, I thought I heard.
Tippy taps.
Yeah, I'm still thinking I hear tippy taps.
There are no tippy taps.
Is it raining? Could it be tippy taps off the
Everyone
window?
just stop for a second. Shh, shh. No, it's not the rain.
No.
Oh my god, I'm actually hearing phantom tippy taps.
Well, I think
To be fair, we get that all the time as well.
You're trying to manifest Tina. so that she'll bark at her.
It's called, yeah.
It's the Lego.
So,
It's the wind at the
It's the wind,
Lego.
yeah.
It's rubbing it against each other.
so fun fact, the day-to-day is actually where Steve Coogan was actually created.
Oh.
Or Alan Partridge, I should say. Steve Coogan debuted as Alan Partridge, and he is a child in it. He's like only in his mid-20s, and you can see it in him. Like he's a sports anchor in it, and he is
does
just
the Jerry Adams.
yes, the bomb dog story. Yeah. Sinn Féin is a legitimate political party. Great stuff. Like all of them are just actual spoofs on the stories that were around at the time.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I was like, so like Brass Eye was then more of a piss take on Panorama.
Yeah.
The BBC, which is ironic because then I think they went to Channel 4 at that point, so they were really taking the piss at the BBC at this stage, because they had switched networks at that point. And again, they just fixated on like these kind of like hot topic issues at the time. So it was drugs, crime, the environment,
We
science.
end up listening to the Spirit soundtrack for
and,
like 15 minutes.
So then,
It's amazing.
but the great art of Brass Eye was hoodwinking a whole lot of celebrities in the meantime. So they're doing the production. Chris
Yeah,
Morris
so the
wasn't that big a
reason why-
name in
why
a sense.
I
You
find
wouldn't have
it
known or
was
recognised him by
Hot
face,
Wheels
especially considering
He was Ravenclaw, not him.
he has a lot
House.
of
Voted him Ravenclaw.
yeah.
He did the test.
Oh yeah, he did the test. Yeah.
He did the Pottermore test. He's a fucking Ravenclaw. So we're actually outnumbered by Ravenclaws in our friends group.
Would not put you as a Ravenclaw.
No, none of us fucking did.
Right. This is now 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, do you just want to end your fucking show so you can go
I'm
home?
fucking tired.
You see, here's the thing with pacing is that the whole premise is to let everyone talk about their stuff. When you just go, anyway, James Gunn is great for 20 minutes. Yeah, it kind of prevents people from talking
that
about
was
their
a hole
points.
there.
Yeah, exactly.
Aaron,
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
Aaron,
no, go on, continue.
Aaron,
Yeah.
why don't you just go inside, have a nap?
And come back to
We'll continue.
No,
your
this is my show.
and then-
Unfortunately, we've got stuff on our bed. And
yeah.
I actually would have preferred it if you just went no.
He can stay on the floor, and even at that, there's not a lot of space for that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Aaron, just get out. Just get out.
And just stand outside for a minute when you wake
Yeah.
up.
But so yeah, to wrap up
yeah,
my
so
point,
the only
the
people-
crowning
we
achievement of
only have
Brass
one
Eye
before
was
in the group.
hoodwinking all these people,
Jamie.
including the one on the drugs. They made a
Right,
point of saying
Jamie's a
we've
Gryffindor.
made up a drug, and
Me,
it was, they made up as like a synthetic
Brian,
drug called cake,
And
and then he told
Jerry,
all these
Casey,
people, including a
Hufflepuff.
politician called David Ames, who's actually
Dave.
dead now, would you believe? He was murdered a couple
Oh
of years
yeah,
ago
no, he did the
by a
test as well.
crazy person. in his
Was that the
constituency.
guy who died? Was that-
Jerry,
That was him. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Dave,
Yeah.
Fuck.
Kira,
So, like,
Slytherin.
So legit,
And the rest of
they
us are all
fucking
Yeah.
they got raised in
Shook.
Parliament. This
So
whole thing
the
about cake,
reason why
about this synthetic drug they made,
we're
and they keep
doing
saying
this
it's
is
a
because
made up
for
drug.
our
They
next
keep
article-
saying it. It's literally it's in face value.
All eight Harry
It's
Potter
fake.
movies.
We haven't said anything, but
Okay.
because they
Yeah.
call it that way, they
Right,
make
I'm
you think,
gonna
oh, it's a
watch the
synthetic
rest of
made
the stuff.
drug. It's not like it's
Yeah.
made from
I've got
poppies or
Prisoner
something
of
like that.
Azkaban.
You know.
Yeah, hold
So-
off on it.
It's that kind of like that little bit of pretense to think, oh yeah, no, that's like it makes sense. But they have all these like people like Gary Lineker, Phil Collins, Richard Blackmore, who was huge at the time, Bernard Manning, I think
And
it
the
was.
reason
No,
why
that
as well,
fucking
so
weird
when
fat
people
fella,
did
not Bernard Manning,
Hogwarts houses,
that fucking
So
old
everyone's
PC
wearing
comedy
the colours.
comedian. I can't remember his name. You can
As
see
we're
him.
watching,
It's
yeah.
like Bernard Manning, but he's similar. All these different like little talking heads. Vanessa Phelps got hoodwinked with it as well.
Oh,
Like-
I love that song.
Like she was there, like making like
Love
a.
Vanessa Phelps, don't you? I'm joking.
Making like a vox
Yeah, I
pop
had
for
to
like a
make a
prison
little count, I
and stuff like
couldn't
that,
remember
and
my
like saying, "You have killed me.
passwords.
I'm dead.
And
How does
then
that
when I
make you
typed in
feel?"
my
And like
email
she's
address, it was like, you're not
fucking
recognising
hamming
this, so I was
it.
like,
She's
shit, this
hamming
is
it.
when I set this up when I am not.
But the
another.
crowning achievement
Was my email
was the
address
last
was no
ever
longer
episode of
a
Brass
valid
Eye,
email.
which is a
Yeah.
special, and
So
I
I
announced
had
that
set up a new one,
Christmas
so I was
special,
fucking shitting as
which
I
is
come back,
called
what if I don't
Pedo
get
Geddon.
Hufflepuff?
and it is literally just like it is just it's summarising the kind of the frenzy or the panic about this apparently newly discovered thing called paedophiles, and like that's the way it was treated. Like all the 90s shows, 90s TV was like, we found a paedophile here, we found a paedophile there, and it's like a fucking egg hunt. And so Chris Morris was taking the piss out of that in particular in the whole like panic about it. So again, had all these like fucking like genuine well-known celebrities saying things to camera, and they're just the dumbest things possible. But the reason that what Morris is slagging off is the fact like these guys will say anything for money. You pay them whatever you want, and they will say things to camera. So you have like the likes of Gary Lineker and stuff. I think there was like I think it was Tony Blackburn, I think it was a radio DJ saying the actual phrase is that humans or paedophiles are genetically more related to cockroaches than humans. There's no evidence to back it up, but it's scientific fact. He said that to camera. He said it to camera. Listen to what you're... Jesus Christ. Like,
volume.
Yeah. I was like literally listen to what you're saying here, you know? But actually the funniest one was Phil Collins, right? So Phil Collins features very little in this series, even though he did vox pops for a lot of things. And the reason was that he was pictured in a shirt saying nonsense. And when the episode went out initially, live, like he was in it, and then in the kind of re-release, the DVD and the releases, he sued the production and Chris Morris for having his likeness anywhere near pedophiles. It was like, no mate, you just couldn't have said you got fucking caught, like, you know.
Yeah.
And again, Amy alluded to it there as well. It's actually the first ever TV appearance of Simon Pegg as a paedophile. He basically
Pedophiles.
he gets like fucking caught in the stocks and stuff like that, and like Chris Morris brings out his kid and he goes like, well, look, here's my kid, isn't he attractive? No, I don't fancy him. I was like, what do you mean? He's a child. He's lovely. He's great looking. Yeah, I just don't fancy him. That's all. I was like, well, good. Yeah, great. Glad you didn't. And like
what's wrong with him?
What's wrong with him? Yeah. But like again, some of the lines are brilliant because they have some great like comic actors in, like Rebecca Front and Dune McKechnie, who doesn't get much work nowadays, unfortunately. But she's in Hale and Pace.
Yeah.
And all that sort of stuff. She's an Aussie kind of actor, and her deadpan is fucking brilliant. Brilliant deadpan. To the extent where like, I think we made the joke in the last video, was like, I said, here is a paedophile who's disguised himself as a school. And like, again, it's a picture of like guy just like pulling like the gate and a big building behind him. And like Dune just straight to the camera goes, yes, we really must catch him. He really is a shit. You know, just fucking impeccable stuff. Like, it's, but the thing where like, I remember watching an interview and it was with your man Jon Snow from Channel 4. And he did a kind of sit down thing with Chris Morris. It was around the time when Trump was elected and Boris was in office, and Jon Snow was going like, you know, it's like what would he kind of asked the question, what would Chris Morris make of the whole kind of political climate? Because like basically these kind of like just ridiculous people are in power and there doesn't seem to be any strong opposition. And like your man Morris, by the way, is a GP. He's a doctor. You can go in and get a fucking diagnosis off him now, which is insane to say that. The guy from the fucking IT crowd is a doctor, right? And imagine
I would literally be like, Father!
But the fact is, like, imagine going into
I bet you get that a lot. Yeah, I'm quite sick of it, to be honest with you.
Like, but like the thing is, like, because Chris Morris, like, when you see him on TV, he looks kind of grand, but like he has this huge birthmark over his face. He's like this kind of, it's like almost like a fucking skin rash, like dermatitis over his face. So you wouldn't actually recognize him in the street in a sense. So like, imagine going into a GP office and there he is giving you a diagnosis and being the driest bastard in the room. Like, I'd love that. But yeah. So like, even when you see his face, like, it doesn't compare to him like when he's on TV. It's chalk and cheese.
Probably getting off like makeup and stuff like that.
Oh, layers of makeup, like legit, like.
Huh.
Jesus.
Oh, sorry. Obviously.
Yeah, everyone needs to remember, mine is a ring, it's not a socket.
Yeah. So anyway, your man Jon Snow asks them, it's like what would you make of this? Like, these guys are kind of a step ahead of you, and like Morris, who is clearly the smartest man who's ever fucking lived when it comes to satire, he said, what do you mean they're a step ahead of me? It was like all these things that are happening with Trump and Boris, they seem to be almost immune from criticism. It's like, it's not a question of like being, he kind of makes a point, it's not a case of being immune from criticism or being immune from satire, it's that no one's actually challenging it anymore. Satire is like is being like kind of kind to them, you know, to the audience, you know.
I actually did not realise that this was the same person who directed Four Lines.
Yes! Yeah, Four Lines is a brilliant movie.
Four Lines is probably one of the funniest fucking films I've ever actually seen.
Yeah.
Regarding like what its taste is, but it's also because it's one of the most used memes.
Yeah.
One of the most used memes I think me and Aaron ever send each other. My anxiety, my depression, my dancing in the moonlight, everybody's they're on the way to a suicide bombing. They are the suicide bombers, and it's so absurd about it.
You weren't really a big fan of that one.
No. But again, to each their own. Like, I think his work is fabulous. But
love it. We're like, hey! Chloe's like, no.
Yeah, she's actually the meme. Like the four of us are.
They're like anxiety, depression. You.
Dancing in the moonlight, everybody's.
Just Chloe.
They got two people going, fuck off.
But see, so like it's funny actually because like it's not necessarily a comedy. It's not meant to be a comedy. It's a satire. And like Morris makes the point, like
I'm
it's
sorry,
not.
but somebody falling over a fence
Oh,
and
yeah,
blowing
yeah.
himself up with a sheep is fucking hilarious.
Oh, it is, yeah. But it's not intended to be comedic.
Yeah.
It's absurd. It's farcical.
Yeah.
You know, it's a like traditional comedy, if you like, from the kind of theatrical sense. So like he says, like, you know, see the reason like the satire nowadays, no one challenging it anymore because the journalistic like levels have gone down so low that you're now asking satirists to do the job for you, and they're comedians, they're not journalists, and it's a vicious cycle. You actually have to challenge these people to do it.
Let's enter in. I think like what's his name, Jon Stewart,
Yeah.
Steve
John
Oliver,
Oliver, Ian
and John
Hislop.
Oliver have all
Yeah.
entered into the chat now at this point. But like the fact is, when your most reliable news source is a comedian,
Yeah.
on a satirical news show, you know at this point in time, do you know what? Maybe we should just hit the reset button.
I don't think Jon Stewart's even satire anymore. I think he's just a full-blown newsman at this point.
But it's the same thing.
That's
But,
the
like,
point.
but that's the
That's
point.
literally the
Yeah.
point.
Oh, I know
Yeah.
that, yeah, but I mean, yeah,
But-
I'm too tired to
But,
follow.
Yeah.
but Morris makes the point. It is a performer for the gallery, is what he says. So like the actual whole point of satire was to poke fun and to actually prod and say you're the problem, and to poke at that way. In the same way that South Park is he would consider South Park performing for the gallery because it's a little pokey, it's a little fun little jabs like, oh, you're like this, aren't you? Whereas Chris Morris is like, grab him a scruff of next on, you are the fucking problem. Like his satire is so brutal and harsh. He'd never get a gig nowadays.
It's literally it's like with The Boys. It's
Yeah.
gotten to a point where people are like, oh, you're making us out to be the bad guys, and it's like you have always been the bad guys. The fact that
Yeah.
you're only realizing it now is actually really
is part of the problem.
Is actually really
Yeah.
worrying that it took you 4 seasons to figure out that we're making fun of you.
Yeah.
Did you not cop that Homelander is supposed to be Donald Trump? Are you that thick?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They are that
they
thing.
are. They are.
I know,
Yeah.
that's
And
what I'm
that's
saying, like, yeah.
And that's actually such a moment where it's like when he actually starts seeing all this stuff come out, and you're kind of like, oh.
And it kind of hurt. The truth hurts type of situation.
Oh my god, you actually thought, wow. And even it's really funny when Tony Starr is like, why do you think I'm the hero in this show? He's like, if anyone's the hero in this show, actually we don't really have one anymore. It's like you really shouldn't be following anybody. He goes, and then I think there was another time he's like, please stop sending your kids up to me to like tell me how great I am. And he goes, your children should not even know who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
And
That's
he goes,
weird.
He goes,
That's...
the fact that he goes, it's all fun and games when you're dressing them up as a mini Homelander.
Yeah.
And they clearly, and you can see on their faces that
They
they
think-
clearly have no idea what the fuck is going on. That's all well and good, because then it's fine. Because then I realise, oh, this is fine. But when one kid is coming up to me who's like 10 and is saying how great I am when I killed someone, you're like, you're a bad parent and I'm judging the fuck. And Homelander is judging the fuck out of you.
And that I appreciate that in a sense where the cast kind of understands the assignment, where like some people will go into a show and not kind of realise the whole kind of like the substance of it, but like the boys have kind of almost recognised. The boys kind of recognise almost the kind of satirical hole they've fallen into. I know it was always that case in a way, but like the boys is almost like now the only level of social commentary America gets nowadays, because a lot of it's like if Jon Stewart says it, the other side will just go, it's lefty liberal, don't want to listen to him. Same with Stephen Colbert. They always call it like the Hollywood elite, whereas the boys almost snuck into a lot of their algorithms and said like, it's
purely because they didn't understand it.
yeah, but in a way that's the most
it's
beautiful.
It's one of
of
those
it.
things. It's like, wow, you actually made a show too smart for the stupidity of the American audience.
Yeah,
well done. And Europeans are watching it, been like, oh my god, this is so true. This is literally just America, and why don't they get it? And it's really, really upsetting to see that when they're just like, wait a minute, it's like it's literally that Mitchell and Webb joke.
Are we the bad guys?
Are we the bad guys?
Yeah.
I was just
Are we
saying,
the
like
baddies?
we have skulls and crossbows on our because we beat our enemies and we wear the skulls. And he goes, are we the bad guys? And then they just like. It's just like when it cuts off, and it's like it's now like certain Americans are like realizing that like Homelander's the bad guy. And it's like, oh, you fuckers, you went woke, and was like,
No.
what do you mean went woke? Sorry, what's this went type situation you're talking about here, sir? Are you upset that the man fucked an octopus?
The sex pest.
And
then ate the octopus.
Okay, look, I'm actually still not over
Justice
Timothy.
for Timothy.
Okay, I'm
Justice for Timothy.
I'm still not over Timothy's head, and I just actually want to point out something that this is very, very off topic. However, to the National War Museum of Scotland, how fucking dare you sell octopus soft toys? Alright? I don't know what sick pervert you have in the back. Right? I don't know.
Has your Bobby arrived?
No, it fucking hasn't.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm literally
You're not a
about
happy
to.
camper,
I'm about to be writing them an email, but
Yeah.
like, you need to fucking provide a tracking number or something because they didn't provide anything. You say it's been sent, and it's been nearly 2 weeks, so it shouldn't have gone long that long. All right, and I haven't even gotten a letter like to say I have to pay on it, which I know I'm gonna have to pay something on it.
Yeah.
Because but nothing has come in yet, so I'm gonna be writing an email to them on Monday. But you sick bastard, right, in the National History Museum of Scotland, right? National War Museum, sorry, of Scotland, not the National History Museum. Whatever sick fuck idea you had when you ordered those octopuses in, you know exactly what you were doing when you did that. Because even as I kind of gave my little look of horror, other people around me did as well. They all had the same idea. Someone in the back is looking to fuck with an octopus.
Okay. Well, on that note, I think that's
it's just so out of the ordinary to have that particular, like, in a war museum.
Yeah.
I think it was
In
just generic
Scotland.
toys
In
though.
Scotland.
Yeah.
No, like, because all the other animals made sense. They all fit in with that
they were
little
like
thing.
Little cows
And then,
stuff.
and do you know what? It actually looked like Timothy. Like, it was the same colouring of Timothy. I'm like, bitch, what the fuck,
So
man?
Maybe in Comic Con, I won the stalls had a Justice for Timothy sign.
Yeah,
It might have been Goblin Wood actually.
it was Goblin Wood because I nearly bought Timothy from them.
Yeah.
And I didn't, and it was only when I was at the museum in Scotland I was like, oh, must be where they used to get them from the same wholesalers.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
Right,
Cool.
John. No, what's your name? Aaron. Do you want to
Finish up
finish your show?
You can
Oh,
go on.
I-
You can. Oh.
I watched Nosferatu 1922.
Oh.
Oh,
Yes.
how
Oh.
did you find that?
That's
YouTube.
easy to find.
YouTube. Oh. Not YouTube.
No, YouTube. It's
YouTube.
in the public domain now, Twin.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hmm.
That's it.
I'm actually really looking forward.
No, that was nice. Yeah.
I'm actually really
Did you
looking
like
forward.
it?
Yeah, what
I
did you think?
I did like it.
I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to
The remake.
Yeah, the new one. I'm actually.
There's a scene in that with 200 rats. 200 real rats.
I like rats.
I love that you guys said that with the same line delivery of like, it's our island's biggest lingerie section. I
I
understand.
understand.
It's
No,
a scene
it's-
there with
it's-
200 rats. I
William
understand,
Dafoe
yeah.
apparently did a bit, and they
That's
used
somewhere.
William
Two-
Dafoe, thank you. That's what I was trying to think. It's like it's
Willem-
not John Malkovich.
sorry,
It's like
Willem
it's not
Dafoe.
John
Willem
Malkovich.
Dafoe, yeah.
That was the other one.
It's not John.
John Malkovich was the director in the making of Nosferatu when
Mm.
it turned out to be a real thing. That was actually a really good movie as well. What the fuck was that called?
Anyway,
Come on now.
Aaron, sleep. I need to go to sleep.
You need
we
to
all
go to
need to
sleep,
go to
let's
sleep.
be fair.
We started this
Here's
at
asleep.
quarter. I was asleep at one point. Yeah. We started this 2.5 hours ago.
Pretty much.
I need to learn how to pace things properly.
Shadow
sir.
of a Vampire. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rude
Willem
to cut me
Willem
off.
Dafoe
So
was
no-
in that one as well.
Oh, I'm
You
sorry.
used
You
that.
can't. We can't talk, Aaron. We cannot talk.
No, that's why I made the joke. I just wanted to see where I get the death eyes. I didn't. I don't think she realised. Anyway, this
She's
has
not
been.
deigning to give you a response.
I'm probably gonna get punched when we get outside. This has been a fun episode.
We covered a lot.
We covered a lot. I got
Yeah.
shouted at once, twice, and it wasn't even for the same period of time. So overall, successful episode, and we'll see you again soon.
Will we?
Maybe not. Maybe I might be getting murdered outside.
There we go.
Yeah. More like it.
If I didn't get murdered after the Priscilla thing, I probably won't ever get murdered at all.
Oh no. The
The whole room just. Oh no.